911 emergency
Can you get
588.
someone over here now to 325 Gretna Green? He's back. Please.
Well, okay, what does he look like?
He's O.J. Simpson. I think you know his record. Could you just send somebody over here?
Okay, what is he doing there?
He just drove up again.
He just drove
somebody
up.
over.
Okay, wait a minute, what kind of car is he in?
He's in a white Bronco, but first of all, he broke the back door down to get in.
Okay, wait a minute, what's your name?
Nicole Simpson.
Okay, is he the sportscaster or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Wait a minute, we're sending the police. What is he doing? Is he threatening you?
I'm going nuts.
Okay, has he threatened you in any way, or is he just harassing you?
You're going to hear him in a minute. He's about to go in again.
Okay, just stay on the line.
I don't want to stay on the line. He's going to beat the shit out of me.
Wait a minute, just stay on the line so we can know what's going on until the police get there, okay? Okay, Nicole?
Uh-huh.
Just a moment. Does he have any weapons?
I don't know.
Okay.
He went home, now he's back. My kids are upstairs sleeping, and I don't want anything to happen.
Okay. Has he hit you today or no?
No.
Okay, you don't need any paramedics or anything? Okay. You just want him to leave?
My door. He broke the whole back door in.
And then he left and he came back?
And he came and he practically knocked my upstairs door down, but he pounded it, and then he screamed and hollered, and I tried to get him out of the bedroom because the kids are sleeping in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he wanted somebody's phone number, and I gave him my phone book and put my phone book.
Hey, thinking last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself. Was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. Let me show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm going to put this knit cap on. And you've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
I would caution the audience during the course of the reading of these verdicts to remain calm, and that if there is any disruption during the reading of the verdicts, the bailiffs will have the obligation to remove any persons disrupting these proceedings. All right, Mrs. Robertson. All right, Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action further find the special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least one crime of murder of the first degree and one or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Signed this second day of October 1995, Juror 230. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
All right, counsel, Mr. Simpson, would you be seated, please? Let's have it quiet in the courtroom, please. All right, Mrs. Robertson, would you please poll the jurors?
Juror number one, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number two, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number three, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number four, as to count one, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number five, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number six, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number seven, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number eight, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number nine, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number 10, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number 11, as to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number 12, as to count one, is this your verdict? Count two. Juror number one, as to count two, is this your verdict? Juror number two, as to count two, is this your verdict? Juror number three, as to count two, is this your verdict? Juror number four, as to count two, is this your verdict?
Record the verdicts as read. The parties agree to waive reading of the verdicts as recorded. Mr. Cochran, do you waive reading of the verdicts as recorded? Ms. Clark, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to at this time take this opportunity to publicly thank you for the service that you've given to us. The burdens that we've placed upon you were enormous, and words can't begin to express the debt that we owe to you for the time and patience and exertion that you've given to us during the course of this case. I will have an opportunity to meet with you privately later, and that there is, as you know, intense media interest in this case.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yo, what's going on, Oni? Learning Curve, Tanzan. Shouts out to y'all. Yeah, I had to play that one at the beginning. I know it pissed a lot of other people off, but you know, it's kind of funny to me. But yeah, today I'm not gonna be like, as strict to any particular topic. I don't have a particular topic. I'm gonna just go through, some videos. I'm gonna put the link in the chat or whatever. And I just had to come on here because I know I'm not gonna probably be able to do one for a while or for probably a couple of days. So I just wanted to come on here, just for a little while anyway. I don't plan on being on here late. But I'm gonna try to go through them. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for anybody who do want to come on though. But yes, that Nicole Brown Simpson, whatever junk, that still pisses them off till this day. They still mad about that one. But anyway, as the first thing, I gotta show this, and it's ironic because I was speaking to my brother who gave me great ideas about what I can do with the water thing, which I'm gonna move forward with, and but it's interesting that this came out about Jackson, Mississippi. The governor says he's open to privatizing Mississippi's water. So I want y'all to see this, see what he's saying.
Does in the meantime. But first, as you know, Jackson, Mississippi, a city of 180,000 people, it's got 60% of its population.
80% black.
80%?
Black. It's a very, prominently black city.
and their water supply and mechanisms for maintaining it have been incredibly underfunded over the years.
Now they're
I mean,
doing
this is,
the
you know, when
whole
we
white liberal thing, so we're gonna skip ahead. The blah blah blah
Who
Who
stuff.
is not Ryan Grimm, just so people understand
Yes.
if you're watching.
But this is the governor responding to what's going on in Mississippi, because apparently they can turn their water on today or recently after months, you know, and now they say it's okay to you know, they lifted the ban on being able to run your water, but this was the governor's response to it.
On YouTube.
Second question, if you would be supportive of any privatization efforts of the Jackson water system. You talked
Now, what up, Rasheed Holmes? And, you know, I got to shout out my brother who gave me, you know, a great idea. And then right after that, you know, I hear this, you know, and they talking about privatizing, putting people's water into private hands, you know what I'm saying, which could go one of two ways, you know, but let me let it play.
question, if you would be supportive of any privatization efforts of the Jackson water system. You talked about your concerns about the management from the city.
I'm open to all options. Privatization is on the table. Having a commission that oversees failed water systems, as they have in many states, is on the table. So again, I'm open to ideas. I'm open to conversation. I'm open to discussion. I don't go into those conversations lightly.
I mean, here's the deal.
Now, listen, when you're talking about privatizing, you know, now, of course, the first thing that's going to come to our heads is like probably some big corporation or, you know, somebody who has a lot of money, or conglomerates who have a lot of money who can control people's water system, which means you can control the population. And if you want them to move, you can keep them in any position because they're in control of your water if you're going to continue to live there, you know. But at the same time, you know, there is an opportunity if, you know, there was a conglomerate of us, you know, willing to work together, you know what I'm saying? Now, there's a great plan that my brother put me on to, and it's ironic that, you know, he told me that, and then I just seeing this, you know what I'm saying? And there may be a way that we could do this, you know, on a grander scale, you know. And, you know, I definitely want to, you know, put that in our heads, because listen, like, you're going to have to be able to control your own water supply, from disposing your own feces to being able to drink a glass of water, right? This is something that's like 70% of the earth, and we control none of it. Not that, you know, because I get it. We have this, you know, the spooked out, you know, nobody can own water, nobody can own land, and blah, blah, blah. But people is fighting and killing over these things. And when somebody is in control of your water, and he's going to be privatized, but we already know who's he talking about. So I doubt that get any help. You know, if anything, it'll probably get worse, you know.
Open to
The deal. What is unclear in this is there is a difference between hiring an outside firm to manage your water system versus we're going to sell our water system to raise funds to build it up to a private entity that is going to have, you know, some degree of regulation on what they can do for pricing for the next 15 or 20 years. And then all of a sudden it's off the races.
And that's what they did before, though, right? That latter option. The reason they're in this predicament is because they had a contract with Siemens in 2013. There was something like $90 billion. And they installed faulty.
Now, this is a $90 billion contract, you know what I'm saying? But it's ways around it, you know, it's things that you can do, you know, and there's other people who are more skilled at these kind of things than I, you know, but using everything to your advantage, you know what I'm saying? But I do think it would take a team or whatever. And obviously, yo, putting it in our hands is going to be tough to even get one septic tank, you know what I'm saying? So to do some on a grander scale, you know what I'm saying? We are going to have to use everything that, because obviously we understand who they want to give this contract money to and all of this stuff, you know. But if we want to be in the position, like we have to start using, like Bakari says, we are the resources. Well, then we would have to exercise that in every single means, whether it be the way you spend your money, the way you vote, everything that you do, to make sure that whatever you want to happen will happen.
Water systems essentially, and they checked out
What's up, Cassandra? Thanks for coming through.
there was no the meters, I think, were entirely off, and it created this system where it was for years before even this crisis. There was a shortage of water, E. coli outbreaks, people's water getting shut off and not working properly.
Dollars in profit to basically that.
Yeah.
That like, am I really going to trust an entity, a private entity?
No,
to
this
not
is like, white Democrat liberal kind of talk. So
not cut corners and do not see corners as like, well, these corners don't even have to be sharp. They can be rounded. believe me. And I'm not in any way incentivized by the billions of dollars in profit to fundamental.
Well, even though it's a private person, listen. Yo, what up, Oni?
Oh, peace.
What's going on, my brother? Thanks for coming on.
Oh, everything's cool. Just I thought you was about to kick it, and then you just stopped. I was in the back room for a minute.
Oh yeah, I can't see with the when I'll be sharing the screen. I can't see when people come in the back, and I just saw you. That's why
Nah, you was kicking it though. I mean, don't stop for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was it for that one. I was just saying, of course he's talking about white liberal talking points and stuff like that, but you're talking about private industries cutting corners when their own government has gotten them in this position trying to cut corners. Yo, time to work, my brother. Yeah, you definitely on time, my brother. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, they definitely already cut all of the corners in all of these cities. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, but it is an opportunity for well, you don't have to ask anybody, but I guess we're not that gangster. So, but, on another way to do it, what I'm saying, it would be an opportunity if we were to make a conglomerate, what I'm saying, and put together the proper plan and approach the right people in the right kind of way. But yeah, you want to say something about that one, Oni?
Nah, I think you said it. Like, if we not doing it for ourselves, then it's like, what's the difference between the government and the private business? Like they both trying to kill you. You know what I mean? And I mean, like you want to think that you can hold the government more accountable, but can you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like unless we form our own private business, but that's like will we is the big question at this point.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. But I think enough people or the right people will with the right plan could accomplish a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you really don't need nobody else's permission on whether to control your water. But we are in a position to where we ask permission for everything. So
oh yeah, there was that brother who had that machine. I mean, I heard a lot of people are sending water down there. A lot of black organizations are putting in work to put some water down there. So definitely, if somebody's gonna come along and organize it, I think that there's a big opportunity for us to position ourselves in that way. But it's I mean, I've been an optimist for a long time. You know what I mean? But like it's hard to be optimistic when our people are suffering day in and day out, and we kind of still not getting it done. But I mean, I'm sure that it can be done, and that's really like it's just we just want it to be done.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Yo, what up, MG2? Yo, I was just showing after the conversation that we had, Mississippi talking about privatizing their water now, the water system. And time to work. No, I'm not a part that water crisis stuff been going on before I was born, you know what I'm saying? And lately though, like a lot of sewage systems and stuff is starting to crack, and you already know where they crack and first that in the black towns, because they're not doing the infrastructure stuff. They do have an infrastructure bill and stuff that you can like look through and see if you can get grants and stuff like that. But we already know how the infrastructure works, and we already know who's the first affected, and that's just what's going on. Like you can put in, like, when Flint was going on, I saw like 20, 30 other cities in similar, if not worse, situations, including a couple in Detroit and Michigan. So yeah. You want to say anything about that one before we go to the next one?
Nah, like I've been heard about nuclear waste from New York was like being sent to like black towns in the South, like the way how they do our people is just dirty, and they've been doing our people dirty. And I don't really, me personally, I'm like low key like a repatriate, so I'm just like, I just want to, like, I just want to beat it, like Michael Jackson said. But beyond that, like, if we stand, we gotta understand that these people are not like the amount of control and the amount of influence they have. We definitely, you know I'll say it this way. A lot of times black folk be talking about, oh, I don't like the capitalists. I don't like blah, blah, blah. I don't like the black capitalists, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're not providing for your own people, or if you don't have anybody to protect your people, people are going to prey on you, because I've been heard, like, it might have been like a decade ago, they were talking about nuclear waste. Okay. Nuclear waste from New York was being like it was sent down to like Georgia or something like that, and that's just one of the locations, but they just put it in a black area. They call it environmental racism, whatever you want to call it, but they put nuclear waste like around black children, and this is like all over. So we might be talking about Jackson, Mississippi, but it's in Atlanta, it's in it's in Georgia, it's in whatever. The fact that they can just do this and there's nothing from us, it's like, because none of us are big enough, none of us really care about it enough. There was a time when black folk were big, there was a time when black folk did care, but now it's kind of like almost a joke. So we definitely need we need something, because I mean I've been trying to make some noise, but like the noise that I make ain't that big, as yet. And so it is what it's unfortunate. You could just, for now, you might not be the ones affected, but like time is going to come where you are the ones affected, and that's how it is. We're just like, I had a friend, I'll say it this way, back in the day when I used to do like a blog site, I had this one sister that would show up, and her name was Sitting Ducks. And she named herself that because she was like, that's who we are as African people, particularly in the West, is that we're just sitting ducks, we just like, and it's like, you don't want that for us. But more and more as I'm getting older, I'm kind of seeing it like, like the outrage I had a decade ago is just like, oh yeah, there was that outrage a decade ago, but like, what does it manifest into? So I mean, I'm looking forward to us as a people, doing something. And I think we could do it on the local level, but these white boys are going to be abusing us somewhere, somehow, unless we really get our stuff together.
Yeah, that's real talk. I like that, Sitting Ducks, and I meant to shout out to Sankar, so Monty, to the brother Sankar. But yeah, it's not just the toxic waste. They build landfills, all that stuff, and then if you notice, a lot of the soil is like poor in black community, like in Lawrence County, Alabama. That's one of the issues. It's the clay soil and the dirt, because like we took some of the worst land. We accepted that. And we can make it work, but and we did at the time, but these are some of the other things that goes along with it too. So like, that was a good point with the toxic fill, and yeah, absolutely, if you're not affected, you're not black. But I'm gonna share the screen, and if anybody else come on, I won't be able to see until after I stop sharing. So speaking of that, only because you was like, they're gonna do more stuff. So my brother MD2 put me onto this one. The Oath Keepers list just got revealed about who was on there. So I'm gonna play.
Report reveals that hundreds of law enforcement officers, elected officials, and military members are members of the far-right group, the Oath Keepers. The Anti-Defamation League looked over the 38,000 names and identified 370 people it believes works in law enforcement agencies. Here in Florida, I found 11 members of law enforcement, 1 elected official, 6 military members, and 2 first responders. The Oath Keepers are accused of playing a key role during the January 6 attacks on the Capitol. And the new data is raising concerns about extremists in law enforcement with the rise of threats of violence against lawmakers and government institutions.
All right, enough. And you can jump in anytime that you want if it's something that you want to say, but I'm gonna let it play through.
Center on Extremism is out with an in-depth analysis of a leaked Oath Keepers membership list from a year ago, which finds there were hundreds of names on it of current or former elected officials, law enforcement officers, and members of the military. The Oath Keepers are a far-right militia group, multiple members of which stormed the United States Capitol during the insurrection and that attack on January 6th. For more on this new report, CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, joins us now. Jonathan, thanks for being with us. So take us through the report that you all did, how you got your hands on the list, and what were some of the more troubling aspects of what you found?
Sure. Thank you for having me this morning, Willie. And I will tell you, this is a chilling report, the likes of which we've never released before. Last September, ADL analysts were able to get our hands on a data leak of the Oath Keepers membership rolls. There were 38,000 names that were essentially pulled from their records and put out.
Now, this is one gang with 38,000 members on this one list. You know what I'm saying? We got 12 people, 15 people, you know what I'm saying? If we talk about beef, we can get 25, but I can't say they would be in the group, In
the open. Our analysts pulled down the information before the Oath Keepers could pull it back. We used open source techniques, including public records, social media, and other methods to review every single name that we found. And I must say, we thought the Oath Keepers were a threat when they rampaged through the Capitol on January the 6th, but we had no idea just how deep the threat truly is. We found hundreds of active law enforcement members who are part of the Oath Keepers, 10 chiefs of police, 11 sheriffs, dozens and dozens of active members of the U.S. military, some 80 individuals who were running for public office, almost 24 of whom made it through the primaries and will be up this fall. And look, you might not know all of these names. Many people might know Arizona State Senator Wendy Rogers, who still, months after the terror attack at the Capitol, proudly proclaimed that she was an Oath Keeper and supported the group. But I'm talking about a county commissioner in Nevada, a town justice in New York, a firearms instructor in Pittsburgh, a pastor in North Carolina, and it goes on and on and on. These are individuals with access and influence. These are individuals with resources and training. And these are individuals who have shown us they are willing to commit acts of sedition and violence against the U.S. government.
Jonathan, are you surprised at the extent of the membership of the Oath Keepers and other far-right?
By the way, the government that has been built to make sure that they will be okay, and that nobody could just quote unquote commit crimes against them. I get it, what I'm saying? They got reasons to storm it, what I'm saying? But it's ironic that a whole system that they have create think tanks through government funding on how to destroy our families, through hundreds of years, and they have more, whatever it is, to run up on it, shoot up FBI offices, to make groups like this. And, you see how they can easily infiltrate it, because people be like, yo, the KKK infiltrated the police, but I say, it's the other way around. The police infiltrated the KKK. Well, I mean, it come out wrong, but it means there's so many of the police that was already KKK. I wouldn't say they got infiltrated. You know what I'm saying? They probably was birthed from them. But yeah, man. And yeah, only you can jump in anytime you want, but just let me know.
No, I'm feeling you. It's just, like you said, 38,000. And I mean, that's the thing. They are defending, they are more organized to destroy their own country than we are, and we claim to be the big victims. You know, like they feel more victimized. They're like, that's the thing. That's the thing I realize. You know, like if you really study white folk and you study black folk, you're not gonna be surprised why white folk running the show. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna be surprised because when you look at the amount of work they put in to run the show versus the kind of work we put in to not run the show, like you already know who would be running the show. You know, that's why I don't even go back to, you know, what happened in the past or nothing like that. Because if you're looking at what's going on in the present, these are regular Joe Schmoes infiltrating the government. You know, regular Joe Schmoes infiltrating the police force. Regular Joe Schmoes getting together, using the internet to have this oath. I was just trying to look up what the oath keeper, like what oath they were keeping, whatever. But regular Joe Schmoes passing around whatever manifesto they got, whatever documents they got, whatever organization they got, they doing that to get themselves mobilized. 38,000 people. That's bigger than see. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of us don't even realize, but like I don't even know how big the Black Panther Party was in its heyday, but I don't think it was 38,000 people. And if you're talking about the Black Liberation Army, that thing was tiny. Like they wasn't finna do nothing. You know, we might look back at them and be like, oh yeah, you know, they were so great, they were so brave. But it was like you said, like 12 people. You know what I'm saying? like legit, like Asada was like half of them. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that big. I mean, I could be wrong, but you know, because you know, there's no real official listing, but I wouldn't even say 100, 200. I'd probably say like in the 30s, real talk. That said, like these guys got a 38,000. It's just a question of, you know, what happens, and here's the reality too. If they had taken over the government, we would have just sat back and been like, shit, you know, we would have just sat back. Ain't nothing much to say about that.
Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. And you're right, you know, and they use the internet and these platforms to link up while we are using this things to you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see how we can. It's not that I'm even mad at them for doing it, you know what I'm saying? But you know, if we can get like, you know, 40 people to be on it, then you know, people will be like, oh no, y'all extreme. They got 38,000 people, law enforcement, military, probably your son's teacher, you know, or I'm not, you know, any one of our son's teacher is what I mean. Like they're everywhere and we don't know, and they're training every single day and we're not prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, Oni. Yeah, definitely.
Wait, Kwame Ture, I'll tell you this. There's a quote Kwame Ture said, and it's embarrassing. So I used to do meetings in Brooklyn, right? And I think it was like every 2 months, you know, because it was like an 8-week program, and so every 2 months I would read the same paper and over again, right? And so let me see if I can find it real quick. Kwame Ture. Okay, it looks like I can't find it quick, but Kwame Ture had this quote where he says, you know, there's no such thing as superior people and inferior people. Okay, there's only better organized people. You know, the Klan runs the show not because, you know, they're great or whatever, but the Klan runs because they have weekly meetings. They meet up every week to talk about their racist philosophies, right? And then he's like, how many of us meet up every week? And the thing is this, we do meet up every week, but we meet up every week to sing and dance. You know, that's church. Sing and dance and give somebody else money for entertainment. We meet up every week for entertainment. These people meet up, and I'm telling you, I mean, like, and one time, so you know, Time to Work was like, you know, if you ain't feeling it, you ain't black kind of thing, right? I'm gonna say this. I kind of do live in an area where I'm not gonna feel it the same way as most people do, you know. And plus, I don't really mess with outside like that, right? But what I'll tell you is this: I'm walking through this area, and on my way to this area, I'm passing through some other people's area, like some Jews area, right? They coming from their Saturday meetings, okay? They coming from their Saturday meetings, and I'm eavesdropping. All right, I'm walking behind them. So they meet up every week. The men in their communities meet up every week, okay, on Saturday. All the men clear out, meet up in this one building, okay? When they coming out, I was eavesdropping. dudes talking about, yeah, my son is he's looking for a place to work. Do you have anywhere? It's like, well, yeah, he can move at the he can work in the steel, the iron, the iron works that I have. I have this company here, and if your son is interested, he can definitely have some management position here. Blah blah blah. They are meeting every week to talk about developing their community, building their community, and this is why like what I tell people too. That's why I say I want to go to Africa, right? I say this, online is nice. But you have to do what Garvey was telling us, which is he's like, meet the people in your area. Okay? Meet the people in your area, talk to them, engage them on whatever. Because the reality is this: if you're trying to build up your community, you gotta engage them. Now, online is good too, but you can't neglect weekly meetings in your area because that's what everybody else is doing. As much as we want to say this, other people ain't even online like that, like us. The only reason why we see these white boys is because they have this whole media empire, right? But a lot of these oath keepers, they're not meeting up. They're not, I mean, even if they are online, they meet it up in person, and so I would just say that, realistically, yeah, you got to have your weekly meetings, your in-person weekly meetings, and you got to do it where you want to be. I'm just going to say it like that. But yeah, everybody else is organized. And then I would just say this because I'm guessing you're not on Twitter or nothing, right? You're not on social media like that, right? Podcast.
I got one, but I don't really use it though.
Yeah, good. That's great, man. What I'm gonna say is that recently, what's been trending is this. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I don't want to disrespect your show by telling you the nonsense that's going on the internet for us.
No,
but
yeah, say whatever you want. You good?
But I'll say this: there's this video circulating. All right, this white boy, regular white boy. Okay, white boy is like, yo, I'm going to every 50 state and I'm dating women. Look at these women I dated, right? In every 50 state, right? And he dated a bunch of, white women, probably white models, but they're just white women. And so then now a bunch of reaction videos by sisters talking about how dare he? How come he couldn't date anybody but white women? He has a type. It's ridiculous. And then black people, black men, black women are all putting their energy into, black, how could you guys do, it's just so stupid. Whereas these guys, look at them. They are organizing to take over a country, one of the strongest countries on the planet. They understand, let me take over this country and basically put chains back on these Negroes. Okay? And while we are just joking around, playing around, it's embarrassing. I'll just say it that way. It's embarrassing, but I would just, long story short, definitely let's you got to organize. You got to organize in some way. You organize online if you need to, organize in person if you can, but definitely, if you're not organizing, the trouble is that everybody else is, and I could tell you because I used to read Art of, so there's two different types. There's two different books called Art of War. There's hold on a second, something's in the so somebody's backstage, by the way.
Okay.
So
how can you see that?
Nah. It was like somebody wrote in the private chat.
MG2 and Bukhari.
Yeah. So there's two different types of there's two different books on Art of War. There's one by Sun Tzu, and then there's one by Machiavelli. So I read both, obviously, but Machiavelli has these quotes in the back, and he's like this: if you're trying to pursue a routed enemy, right? So it means if you win a battle and you pursue him, but you do not pursue him in an organized manner, then you turn your victory into a loss. The reality or the lesson there is that you have to be organized if you want to consistently win. And white people understand that, right? That's it. I'll just say that.
All right. So before I let MG2 and Bukhari speak, let me say this. Shouts out to you, my brother Pelej. Thanks for coming through. My brother Brandon, y'all, appreciate you for sending that too. But shouts out to you for coming through. Learning Curve said all their institutions are perverted with a Eurasian preservation consciousness. The Congress has historically been filled with the KKK. The Oath Keepers are the new KKK. We're not ready. I agree with that. Time to work said, are 38,000 white people going to jail? Hell no. So this is a distraction. 38 aren't going to jail. Yeah, it's probably right about that. Shouts out to Wanda Chavis. Oh, I gotta shout her out. She's been holding me down for a long time. She wanted a realer. So shouts out to you. Time to work. Bottom line, we need leaders to step up to the front. The Klan stays on top because they don't have any opposition. The KKK is mid-bottom tier of the Freemason pyramid. They're not really the ones to focus on. It said not the gender divide. Forget the distractions. Forge ahead. Machiavelli book is The Prince from Tanzania. Amani, what's going on, Raw? Peace to you, Raw. All right, so I don't know who came on first. I think MG2.
Hey, peace. Familia, I hope I'm saying this right. Familia Ya Amani. Peace to the family. Brother Forecast, the reason I had to kind of mention that earlier today about Oath Keepers and whatnot, it's because as my competitor, enemy, foe, adversary, the guys on the other side of the team, or the other side of the court, excuse me, I really admire what they're doing. I mean, to be able to go ahead and infiltrate, and here's what I mean. This conversation that I'm hearing you guys have, I've heard for the last 40 years, at least, probably the last 45 years. So it's nothing new. This is nothing new to me. The conversation is nothing new. And I'd say for at least the last 35 years, I've heard forums. And then once the internet came out in the last 30 some years, then it became bulletin boards. And then in the last at least 20 years, it became social media. And in the last 5 years, it became, what it is now. So this is no different. This conversation, like I said, at least 45 years, I've heard the same thing amongst Black folk, amongst Africans. So, I'm not surprised. I have no problem with what Oath Keepers and them are doing. That's what I expect. Matter of fact, again, I admire what they're doing. Matter of fact, I praise what they're doing because what they're doing is giving me inspiration to actually do better for us. There's a statement Bruce Lee said, or they attributed it to Bruce Lee, and I have read both. I definitely there's 3 different versions of Art of War. One is for the financial markets, and I've read that as well. And one thing I admire what Bruce Lee said is I don't fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks, but the man who knows one kick 10,000 times. And that's what they attributed to Bruce Lee. And I was working out with this a good brother. He's about my age. We go back decades. And he's into he trains MMA. Okay, and I've been doing a little bit myself, but he's deeply involved. And we were talking about that. And it kind of goes to this conversation here. This is that one kick 10,000 times. This, if you go back to Wilmington and Wilmington on Fire, if you ever watch that DVD, you go back to different, not just the South, their South, excuse me, because that's their frame of reference. But you go all over wherever Europeans have a foothold into governance, foothold into control, they've been able to manage the political environment using militias or whatever else they do. So I admire somebody that has that kind of wherewithal, that kind of ingenuity to go ahead and control their destiny the way they see fit. The thing I hope we can do is learn a lesson as Africans globally. I don't care where we are. What I've read, and I told you what was going on in Kenya earlier there, brother Forecast, what I saw on Kenya, what you saw happen in Uganda just a couple days ago, what you see happening, especially what's been going on in Jamaica, or I should say the Jamaicans that live in Canada who are literally slaves now. I tend to say, well, I can't complain. What these Peckerwoods do, these Peckerwoods do what they do. I can't complain. I can't get mad. I can't blame anyone. That's what they're supposed to do. I would hope that we use this as an African collective as a clue, because we know their game plan: infiltrate government, infiltrate law, so-called their government, excuse me, their law enforcement, their banking structures, hey, if that's what we know their game plan, I should hope one day that we learn one kick 10,000 times so we could have our own game plan. I'll pass the mic.
Yep, that's a fact. And I mean, Antoine de Mela. Amani Mongu.
Amani Mungu, what's going on, everybody? Amani to everybody in the chat. You know what? I got a little late. I was listening to I just heard a little bit of Oni, and of course MG too. And I read what Time to Work said about the Klan. He said the Klan is what he say, the mid tier of the Oath Keepers. I guess who he said Freemasonry. Like I don't know who the Oath Keepers are, right? But the Klan is the ones. In all honesty, some of us we do. See, when we say don't focus on them, that means we're not focusing on everything. Because in 2022, they're not going to send their military at you. That's their military that they're going to have coming at you, and we are not getting ready. It's too many of us. It's too many of us that's not even trying to get prepared and don't want to be prepared. Because see, I know the last stage of battle is physical, but they are prepared for the physical. You understand what I'm saying? We are not prepared for the physical. We are not prepared for. We're not prepared for the political, social, because we think it's okay. We should be allowed to do. We just gonna do whatever, and that's okay, right? We are not getting prepared, and I'm a firm believer in everybody just being able to do whatever it is they want to do. That's why we're in this position that we are in right now. We don't have any order. I hear people say get on code. Nope, you got to learn to live by a code. Take that little phrase, get on code, and ball it up, put it in a brown paper bag, ball up that brown paper bag, put that shit in the garbage can, and put that garbage bag in the incinerator. Because if you don't live by a code, it's impossible to just say all of a sudden, I'm gonna get on code. If I don't care about owning right now, just because I see the KKK attacking Oni, I'm not going to all of a sudden care. If I don't care, I don't care. So it have to be a code in which we live by. And this is something that me and MG2 and I know forecast. There's four pillars to the Black community. The way that we're going to get to this four pillars: respect, love, provide, and protect. And if we don't respect one another, we won't love one another. You understand? If there's no respect and no love, we ain't gonna want to provide and protect one another. Those are the things we should provide and protecting. Those are the things that we should be happy to say we do for our people. The divide that they have allowed this social media to create with the Black man versus the Black woman, or so-called Black people from these proud Black Americans versus Pan-Africans. We have let everything, right? We have let everything get in our way and cause a distraction. So now the new distraction is who started hip hop, right? And when I did my show the other day, it really doesn't matter. That is something that just kinetic control now. So who started hip hop don't matter. Black people. Look where it is now. It's not who started, who controlled it. And that's what I'm talking that. And we are not looking for control. We are not looking for power. Only made a statement when he said, when you can look and see why white people is in charge, they work hard to be in charge. And we can see why Black people do. You can see why we're in the position that we're in. We work hard to remain in this position. We work hard to be the stepping fetcher for white folks. We work hard to be the Uncle Ruckuses for everybody else. We work hard to make sure that we don't do anything together. That's social media, right? But then this social media stuff can leak out into real life. Like I said, I had someone tell me I shouldn't deal with my grandson because his mom is Haitian, which he only half ADOS or half AD or half FBA. Like what? Because this social media stuff have leaked out. And what it is doing, social media has truly exposed Black people. Salute Rasheed Home. Social media has truly exposed the way we think, how we feel about one another, in the way the men feel about our women, and it has exposed Black men cowardice when it comes to everyone else. That what social media has done is show how we respect the scammers. We respect anybody except the people who's trying to do something good for their people. Forecast have about 4,000 subscribers. There's no need. He shouldn't have 100 and some 200 people watching him right now, right? Tell Forecast to put Dane Calloway, Tariq Nasheed, or anything like that in his title. Watch how many people come. Watch how many people come. Because what they say, everybody want controversy. Controversy sells. Well, everything about us walking down these streets is controversy. Everything about us, when you saw this little black girl talking to the police and was like, please don't hurt me. That ain't enough controversy for us to say we want to come together, we want to do right, and we want to make sure that we are protected and coming together because we've already united in a sense. So now it's time to organize, it's time to strategize, and it's time for black men to pull their pants up, let their nuts hang and say, you know what, we gonna do what we supposed to do because once we play our role, our women will play their role. And you know what, the Klan can talk noise all they want. I want more black men to get prepared. I know I'm not the only one, but it do need to be more of us. And I tell the Klan, the Aryan Nation, and skinheads, whatever the hell they want to be, they can bring it on because I've been preparing for a long time. I'll get it, Mike.
All right. What's going on, Brian EBK? The first time seeing you. All right, so we can go to the next thing, y'all. And you know, like I said, it's some things I want to show, and I don't want to hold y'all back because it's an open topic, so y'all can say what y'all want. I ain't tripping today so much, but you know, I want to show these videos to get y'all takes on them. But let me show these next couple of videos, and y'all can jump in at any time. But this white nationalist rant against undeserving minorities. I'm gonna show a couple of videos with this one too, so keep in mind. But you can jump in.
They were construction workers, miners. They were the educated. They were pioneers against whites. Ending racism that is happening is against whites. They hate white people. They're replacing white people. They attack whites. It's time for whites to stand up. It's time for whites to be proud of who they are, to embrace their heritage, embrace their history and understanding of what it means to be a white man in America. The fact that you and your heritage and your ancestors, they built the modern world. They were pioneers. They were explorers. They were construction workers, miners. They were the educated.
And he's saying this lie with a straight face too, and I'm not mad at him.
They were the influential. They were the philosophers and scientists of a bygone era. We must never forget that, and we must be happy with that history. There's no reason to pollute it or attack it or mistreat it. Myself, as a white American, I'm very proud of my history. I am proud of the country that we built. I am ashamed of where it is going and who is taking it over. Undeserving minorities. I mean, are you going to say that's racist? Okay, sure. Undeserving minorities taking over this country.
All right, now he gonna go on this rant about
privileged
why
white
this
man
is
doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Let me play this last part to it.
And I know in our country right now, they keep telling us, Laura, that Christian nationalists are the terrorists. Christian nationalists are the at risk. You know what we do for our enemies?
Hey, Forecast, can you pause right quick?
Yeah.
When the other guy was talking, you know what it made me think about? This is something I heard on the radio here, right? The white guy said on the radio on them AM stations. These Mexicans, they're getting a little uppity around here. We're starting to give them work. It's time for us to start slapping them up and putting them back in their place. That's what they said about him, and you know that's how they feel about. But they were on the radio said that. Well, you know, someone called into a show, but the guy on the show said you're right. But that's how they feel, and you know they feel that way about us. They're giving them work, but they're getting a little uppity. So it's time to start slapping them around, put them back in their place. See, the thing about it is they don't think too many of us scared to leave that place that they gave us. We scared to get out that box. That's just my take. Go ahead.
Yeah. This only part, but yeah, y'all can jump in, but this part only like 10 seconds.
Christian nationalists are the terrorists. Christian nationalists are the at risk. You know what we do for our enemies? We pray for them.
We're supposed to.
But we actually don't.
I'm still working on that.
No, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to pray for our enemies, but we do it, and that makes us different. We're the most upstanding citizens in this country.
All All right, okay. You want to say something, G2?
Oh my God. I'm sorry for cutting you. Oh my God. I have never been that entertained in at least the last week. Because I got to thinking, I closed my eyes when he was saying that, and I was envisioning him
man, don't do it.
hugging a judge after, because his brother got killed, or 9 of people that he knew that got killed by a black identity extremist in a church, and him and the Christian white nationalists were lining up saying how they pray and forgive what this. I got to thinking, I said, man, it's almost surreal. When I listen, I have no problem with what these Peckerwoods are saying. The white nationalists, good for you, power to you. Throw up your fist and say, Norse power, whatever. That's them. It's like me to concern myself with it's like concerning myself with what a duckbill platypus thinks. And if I do that, then I'm gonna change my drug dealer, and I don't take drugs. The thing is that's them. Okay, whatever they say, again, they're not my frame of reference, brothers. They're not my. A lot of times we worry about how many views we get in terms of wanting to look good and be important, and that's the problem. Because I don't go view whoring. So all views are not good views. Okay, otherwise call me Tariq Nasheed or Tommy Sotomayor. I would rather focus, for lack of a better term, on the things that are more productive, the things that are more innovative, the things for our destiny, and the things that we can do to control and protect ourselves, than listen to a duckbill platypus or worry about how many individuals might, get my message across. I don't want my message to reach everybody. I have to be very protective, and literally, whether you're Christian nationalist or white nationalist, whatever, the message that you get from them is the message they want you to see. But the message they work on is the message you're affected by, and you'll never see that. And that's why I don't react or even care about what these guys say. I think it's funny, and I think it's fun and entertainment, because that's the message they want you to see, Brother Forecast, Brother Bakari, Oni. They want you guys to react on that, while they have 38,000 individuals doing things that will affect your lives, whether you go to get a license, whether you go to get a loan, whether you go and try to go to court, whether you go ahead and try to go ahead and get a business. That is what you don't see, okay? And you would have never seen it had it been, and when they say 38,000, you got to multiply that by 10 and you'll get the real number. So that, in terms of what they want me to see, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm not view whoring. I don't care about how many views, or I don't care about it. This is their social media, their situation. It is not ours. It's not mine. It has nothing to do with black folk, except we're hitching a ride. The thing is if I concern myself with that, then call me, anybody that concerns themselves with that, you're a Tariq Nasheed. And if you're not, you're a hypocrite. The thing is, what I'm trying to get through to you guys, it's the bottom line of being adults, of being at the grown-ups table. And I'm not talking physically or emotionally or maturity-wise. I'm talking about controlling your destiny. Other folks are in control of every aspect of everything in life we do, including the fact that if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be talking to each other right now. If it weren't for them, you wouldn't have had water or gas in your tank right now. If it weren't for them, you wouldn't have medical care of the pills. That is, again, that's the part of that 380,000 I'm talking about. When they give you 38,000, 380,000 tell you whether you're going to have fuel for your dump truck, or whether you're going to be working at Amazon, or whether you're going to go ahead and make sure that you got medical care or an energy bill. That's that 380,000 that don't talk to you. The message that these Peckerwoods tell you, brothers, is what they want you to react on. Because when we react on it, it proves to them and proves to ourselves we're nothing more than children. But when we see, okay, if that's how you feel, cool. Power to you. It's fun. But if we see what they're doing, not what they want us to show us, but what we know what affects us, then and only then will we realize, okay, we're going to have to change our motives and the way we respond and the way we act. Otherwise, we'll be perpetual slaves and perpetual children. Don't ask me. It's not just facts. This is the record. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know in our country right now, they keep telling us, Laura, that Christian nationalists are the terrorists. Christian nationalists are the at risk. You know what we do for our enemies? We pray for them.
We're supposed to.
But we actually do.
I'm still working.
MZ2 is absolutely right, because it's not about what they say, it's about what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And this is certain things that they're doing here.
We're going stagger. Hey, hey, don't let him in. You're staggering, guys. Cycle back. What are we doing? Cycle back, right. Hold on. Right, way through the line. All right, so we try that again from the top. Don't be afraid to throw a punch. Come on, Chris. Control. Control.
So I want to say something about this. So
Yeah.
even though you might be like, hey, look, they fighting like little bitches, sure, right? But that's manhood training. That's masculinity training. And the thing is this, I'll give black folk credit, especially in America. I'll give black folk credit that they do, they do like a lot of men sometimes in like certain areas might be scrapping. They might scrap at their sons, all that kind of stuff, which is good, right? But here, when I say masculine and manhood training, what you have to understand too is that there's so much propaganda here, like the color scheme, red, white, and blue, right? The reclaim America, your duty to America. This is a good nationalist propaganda thing. Like real talk, if you were white or if somebody were white, this is good for them. Is it good for us? No. But the reality is this: nobody else is supposed to live a life that's good for us. Like MG2 was just saying, hey, they turned the lights on for you. They filtered the water for you. They do this. Like that's not a good situation to be in as a human being. And then we saw those dudes, in their little armor and whatever. Like, of course, it looks goofy. It looks like some Ren Fair shit. But guess what? If these motherfuckers take over the country, right? Or they take over their country, or they just get their power in their country, right? You're gonna be getting kicked around by these motherfuckers in body armor. That's it. Like I said this a long time ago, and I'll say it again. But like, we are the only people who want to be protected by the goodwill of their enemies. Because like, what's standing between you and this sort of tyranny or whatever? What's standing between you and them? It ain't you. And that's a problem. So yeah, I mean, I'll say, yeah, these little boys, they fighting, they throwing punches, they're like some bitch shit, and you ain't gonna be intimidated by that. But I'll say this, another thing that I remember, because I used to organize in the UAM and all that. And so the brother was from Georgia, the leader was from Georgia, and he would tell us the Klan had a policy where they would outnumber whoever they attacking 3-1. And so I actually have this brother. My brother is a martial arts expert. Okay, a badass. All right, like he could throw down with the the top, I would say, right? But he's telling me, look, if you get into a fight with 5 men, right, you only gonna survive if they want you to survive. Even if you were badass, even if you could fight really well, 5 men fighting you, good luck. I mean, unless you Brother Bakari could do it, but apparently he did that. But
I was just about to tell you that 3 versus 5 was a fair fight.
Yeah. You said 3 versus 5 or 1 versus 5?
3 versus 5 was.
Oh yeah. You the only person who can 5. But most of us, our attention can only you got to think about when you're in a fight. You got to pay attention to the next person's body language really intently, and that's just one person. Now 5 people, forget it. They get behind you, they choke you, you're dead, right? But anyway, what I'm saying is that these white boys, even if they can't fight 1-on-1, it's 38,000. You know what I'm saying? They don't gotta fight you 1-on-1. And yeah, that's what the brother was saying. He was like, hey, if a black person show up to your house, he gonna be like, come outside, let's have a fair fight. That's it. White person show up to your house, there ain't no fucking fair fight. He's showing up 20 people for you know what I'm saying? Don't think that these motherfuckers don't have they believe in winning. And that's something that, like MG2 says, you can respect them for that. I'm gonna just say, acknowledge them for that. Acknowledge them, real talk. Only because I don't like complimenting white folk, but I mean, I understand like what it is. Like, yeah, acknowledge that reality that they in it to win it. And like, what are we doing? Like, yeah, you could beat these guys, these little boys. And first off, they're little boys, so of course you're gonna beat them, right? But yeah, you could beat them in a one-on-one. That's great. But even I could say this. I'll tell you this. So I'll just tell you. I don't want to monopolize, but I'll tell you this. Sometimes they be like, how like you see a group of young people, right? Like that's always like a group of young boys. It's always intimidating. Sometimes we be like, why they say black folk intimidating when it's just these boys, they don't got no weapons and all that kind of stuff. Reality is this, man, a group of young boys is intimidating to anybody because they're gonna like if they have some ill intent, you outnumbered and we out weaponed, period, right? Unless you like carrying like you fucking Rambo or some shit, right? But yeah, like I remember one time I did see this group of white boys with baseball bats. Now I don't know no baseball fields around where I'm at. Like, they could have been coming from baseball practice, but I was like, let me cross the fucking street. Because it don't matter if it's like, yeah, you could, if one motherfucker come at me with a baseball bat, I'm okay with taking a swing from a baseball. Like, as long as it's not a metal bat, I'm okay, right? But 20 people with baseball bats? No, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fighting that shit. That's just like baseball bats. Obviously, you got weapons, that's different. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, these motherfuckers are training. So, I mean, congratulations to these white boys. They know how to fucking hold on to their country. They know how to take over countries. Like, white people have been doing it for centuries. They did it over here. And like, we can't be out. Like the only outrage that should be here is the fact that we not doing the same thing. Where am I scrapping with anybody? Where am I training the young boys to scrap? And I'm not saying that black folk don't do that, but 35,000, like 38,000 is not like this is like that's 38,000 members. These are the motherfucking kids of these members. So that's like 200,000 motherfuckers around the country, around this country, learning to scrap. Not too well, but enough. And they're learning propaganda on top of that to say protect America for the white race. And that's commendable. I'll give that's like what MG2 was saying. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, and all right, so I'm gonna play a little bit because it's interesting you say that. So I'm gonna play a little bit.
Let me say this right quick about that video right there, right?
All right, go ahead.
That's good. They're out there trying to box, but I can tell you this: it is more of us boxing, right? I can say that it is more things that we need to do, but when it comes to grown-ups trying to get ready, this is just from my experience being out there in the one organization that I thought we could get those kind of numbers. Like, they don't answer their phone, they hard to get in touch with. But it's more women, from my experience, when I'm at the range, when I go train, it's more women. I literally had some black women when we was in. It was almost embarrassing. I'm like, who y'all in here with? Who teaching y'all? We are. Got black men and let us. It was like 2 different groups. It was like 20 total, right? But they were together, but they took up 2 different slots, right? I like, well, that's what I do. And they were like, well, thank you. Because I had like 5 women with me. I said, I teach women how to use guns. Now, I'm a much better shot with the rifle, but I know how to use a handgun. If you got a handgun, they're going to be closed up on you anyway. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to that and teaching and want to train and trying to do that, it's just from my experience being out here in these streets, it's more women. It's more black women that's willing. It's more black women that want to go gun shopping. It's more black women that want weapons than black men. And that's just from my experience.
I just want to add this quickly. The most important part about this is the red, white, and blue. Like, because the combat here is nothing. The combat here is just get your body working, just your body moving. But the most important thing is to have that mindset of, hey, look, you have the job of protecting this country from these, N-words. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's most important. And so, like, having combat experience is one thing, but knowing who your people are, because that's what these white folk are learning. They're learning who their people are, who's on your team, because this white boy right here, he would strangle a motherfucking, liberal. He would strangle them other, you know, like a white guy with long hair and you know, nail polish and shit. You know, he would strangle that motherfucker. That's what this is all about. It's not about the combat, because you could learn combat, and then when it comes time, like reality is this: you could be the best motherfucking shot on the planet, right? Well, not the best, but you could be up there, a good shot. But if you by yourself, right? Who cares? You know, who cares? I mean, obviously, if you're the best shot, you could probably get pretty far, but still, like, realistically, you have to know how to form a team, and that's what they're doing. This is team building right here. There's a lot going on here, but what I'm saying is that this is really smart. What we're doing, it doesn't even, like, because we got black boys who are, you know, scrapping, boxing, fighting. We got that. We got people who are, you know, shooting each other in the streets. We have that, but like knowing who's on your team, because like shooting your own people, like if you want shooters, like my brother told me he saw somebody here in Brooklyn somehow, like maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, shot some motherfucker with a sniper rifle at point blank. You know what I mean? You know, like, and it's like black folk. If you look on, they got a whole page of black folk. Some black folk with like grenade launchers and shit. You know what I mean? Like real, you know, like grenade launchers. Some of them got, you know, like a lot of black folk got handguns, obviously. But it don't mean nothing if you're using it against your own. You know what I mean? These people are like, hey, you're my brother, and we have a task at hand. And that like forming brotherhood, that's really important.
All right. So look, because y'all said that, I want to play a little bit of what he was saying, the brother doing this video, and then I'm gonna show a little bit of the next one, and then y'all can say what y'all want about this topic. But I do want to kind of get through the show. Like, I'm good. I don't know how long y'all got, but at the end, you know, it's something that happened in Nigeria. I want to hear y'all opinion about, and something about the N-word too. So, all right. So, you know, just keep that in mind going forward. But y'all can jump in anytime y'all feel like it, though. You know.
Yep. When I look at videos like this, I say, you know what? We're going to be just okay. We're going to be all right. Okay. This is what my dad would say. Those SOBs could not fight themselves out of a wet paper bag. Now, this is their training video. Now, they were training in preparation for what's called upcoming missions.
Now I want to know, what is his training camp and what is his, prospects looking like for him to say, oh, we gonna be all right. You know, I want to know, what is he doing? Wow. How many children has he trained? How many fights has he been in the last 20 years or in life ever? You know what I'm saying? Can he take a punch? Because if nothing else, they can be able to take a punch. They can get on the ground and fight with you. They're not going to be out, not be able to, I don't know if he would be able to do that, what they were doing. So for him to say that, I want to know, what is his training programs?
Now, we did take this video to our registered military expert. His name is Jordan. He's one of my producers. And he has significant military training. And I asked him, I said, listen, tell us what military combat training this is. He said absolutely nothing recognizable by him. They were just making stuff up. So they were preparing to fight, to go to war. Here's how it turned out.
So Patriot Front got pulled over. They were all piled in the U-Haul, and they are all detained. What?
All right, and then let me show this part right here.
Count it down. From what? 5-second countdown. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Forward march. No, so you start on the right foot. It always starts on the left foot. Yeah. So
it's a new influence today. I fucked up. Starting over. Keep it rolling. Har, dar, dar. Our national way of life faces complete annihilation as our
these wannabe terrorists called Patriot Front.
They've been want to be terrorists. Okay, so do y'all got anything to say about that one before we go
on? I just got to say that when he said they couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag, And I'm glad you brought that up. Like, what training is he doing? I get to thinking about Adrian Broner, who couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag against, what was it, Mardana, or whatever his name is. I think of AJ, who just recently, I mean, you know, I think of all the different African, quote unquote, black boxers that fighting against somebody who can't fight out of a paper bag. Clearly, this brother's theory is definitely not proving itself. In other words, what I'm saying is, I never underestimate what the other side of the fence is, no matter how weak they may be, no matter how strong or how powerful that our race would be. I will never underestimate. Dr. Amos Wilson said you act in the capabilities. And whether they can fight their way out of a paper bag or not, I always have to approach them as if they can fight not only out of a paper bag, but a steel cage, even if they can't. And the reason I think is a lot of overconfidence, a lot of arrogance and overthinking on our part is clearly why Africans on this planet are completely subjugated. Because our mindset are not thinking about building nukes. Our mindset is not thinking about building biological specimens to get rid of others. Whereas other folks who can't fight their way out of a paper bag, they live that. Okay, they live. Like I do, because I'm in the markets, I follow military and defense acquisitions from everywhere around the globe. Whether it's Northrop Grumman, whether it's Boeing, whether it's, I mean, it doesn't matter. These folks live as if they're fighting out of a steel cage every day, even if they can't. The thing is, overthinking, overconfidence, not to say it's a bad thing. I'm thinking in our perspective as Africans is why we are where we're at, and that's being subjugated, is because we may, and I'm not saying we do, I'm saying it's possible or even probable we take things for granted in terms of others. And I have to do that because here's one thing. While you guys are talking, I have to ask, how many, all the brothers in the chat, all the brothers in the panel, how many of you worked out today? Did you work out? Did you do a 2-hour session, a half-hour session? Did you do your fight training today? Here's why I say that. While everybody's talking, between every person that's talking, I've been doing 10 burpees. That's why I'm kind of winded right now, because I want to always keep my mind on training. Anytime Oni talks, I do 10 burpees. Brother Bakari talks to you, Brother Forecast. I'm doing 10 burpees just so I can keep my mind, because I'm not going to overestimate that little peckerwood that might be half my size, might be so well trained that my confidence knowing, hey, you know, we're black, we always win. He might get the better of me. It's not about who's the strongest or who's the best. It's the one who knows the skill the most. And the one who knows themselves the most is more than likely, i.e. Art of War, are going to win the match. And I think I might be wrong, because I know that my competitor is always training, or at least I have to act on the capability, no matter if it's a peckerwood the size of Steve Urkel or somebody like Tyson Fury. I have to always think in my mind as somebody who's always going to fight them, no matter what they are. If they're not African, I know I'm gonna get in a fight with them. I have to almost every day, when I approach them as if they've been training like Mike Tyson all their lives. Because if I have that feeling of, oh, I could fight them, I could take out 10 of them, I could this and that, all it takes, you might be able to beat 5, but that 6th one is gonna put you in your grave. And a lot of that is because as my mom used to tell me a long time ago, and she's been saying it lately, we collaborate, which is just talk, but not do. Like I said, how many of you guys have worked out today? Are you doing burpees in between sessions? I'm doing burpees and I'm doing kickboxing while you guys are talking. Because I'm always thinking, I don't care what happens. If I have to be a lone wolf or I work within a group, I am at war with non-Africans no matter what it is, whether it's economically, socially, politically, militarily, through their governance. I'm always going to be at war. And everything I have to do, and for myself, I'm not telling you what you guys have to do, because I'm not into that. We gotta have to. And that's bullshit to me. And I've heard it for 45 years, and I don't want to hear it anymore. If you're not working out, then there's again, it's palaver. Just talk. If you're not constantly training in your mind, and every day you wake up, you have to believe. I'm not saying you have to. Every day that I wake up, I say I'm at war, even if I get on a bus because I can't see anything. I'm at war. If anybody doesn't have that kind of mindset, I ain't mad at you. I love you. You're black. I love you. But all I can say is there's a serious disconnect between our actions, and there's a serious disconnect between what we say, and that disconnect is going to actually diverge into a future we won't have. I'll pass the mic.
Well, I'll just admit, I ain't do burpees between, like, while I was recording, but I work out today. Definitely. I worked out yesterday. I worked out, so on and so forth. I don't know about no several, but I mean, I'm still, like, I'm pretty fit. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, I'm fit enough. Like, obviously not, to the maximum capability, but you know, I would say that for me, like, my fitness is pretty on par with where I want to be. But what I would say is this, you know, when we talk about like what I was really saying about regard to that fight is that it don't even matter if these motherfuckers can beat you in a fight. You know, because you know the question is, because here's the difference between us and them, right? Or the big difference, the major difference between us and them, right? Is that their admiral, okay, doesn't like it don't matter if he can fight. It don't matter if their admiral can fight you. If y'all, I mean, I know all of y'all have seen one of them Navy ships, one of them big Navy ships. You ain't gonna fight no motherfucking Navy ship with your body. You know, if you run up on a Navy ship, you know, with your body, I mean, you better be like sneaky or some shit. But if you're not sneaky, that thing will blow you up. These people, these white folk are known to blow up people across the planet. Okay? They're not even like, they don't need to fight you one-on-one. You know, there was that one brother who thought he was, you know, like who was nice. There was like this one brother who was nice. They mobilized 1,000 people against him. I can't remember his name right now. Oh, maybe Christopher Dorner, I think. They mobilized and so forth. Then they just found his house where he was hiding, and he's like, "Okay, let's have a fair fight." They don't give a shit about no fair fight. They burned his fucking house. Or the other brother who was down in thing, you know, they just sent a robot to fucking kill him. You know. Like these people are not, you know, they're not playing. It don't matter. Like, it doesn't even matter if they can beat you in a fight. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, the admiral of the general, you know, it don't matter if you could throw down with this dude, because they're not going to throw down with you. You know, and that's something that we have to understand as a people, that, you know, people don't care. Like, they don't have anything to prove to you. You know, they don't have to prove to you, oh, you know, you worked out, I worked out, and you know, you're the better. Like, nobody gives a shit. You know, it's like MG2 was just saying about, there's the kids table and there's the adults table. You know, there's the kids mindset and the adult mindset. You know, the child will be like, hey, I'm better at you at this. The adult doesn't give a shit if you're better than them at that. You know, because they like, yeah, Mike Tyson could beat me in a fight, sure. You know, like, okay, Mike Tyson could beat me in a fight, but why the fuck would I fight Mike Tyson? You know, what do I have to prove in fighting Mike Tyson? There's only like one white boy out there. I can't remember his name, but there's this one white boy who's like, I want to fight boxers, you know, and prove that you know, like, that's the only person. But most people don't care they're like, okay, if you could beat me in a fight, that's good for you. But the reality is this: do you have a fucking warship? Do you have drones? Do you have nuclear weapons? You know, because if you don't, and if you understand, like, y'all can see the videos from Afghanistan, you know, for those of you who weren't in Afghanistan or who weren't in Iraq or who weren't whatever, you know, you can see the videos of that shit. They just, like, legit, these white boys are sitting up in the sky, got them on site. Permission to shoot, permission granted, dead. It don't matter how many motherfucking push-ups that dude did. You know, the Taliban guy could have been like, yo, I'm ready for war any day. It don't matter. I'm not saying don't do your push-up, because you definitely should. But it's just, you know, it's just a reality that looking at these white boys and saying, hey, y'all can't fight, good for them. The fact that they were in the government, the fact that they were being politicians, the fact that they were in the military means that some of them was you know, some of them could be generals, some of them could be admirals, some of them could be marines, some of them could be some of them could have motherfuckers on their payroll to fuck you up. They don't need to, like, nobody needs to be able to scrap you. You know what I mean? Because you don't need to scrap somebody if you can waste them. That's all I'll say.
Hey,
all right. Hey, hold on, Bakari, real quick. First, let me say this. Cause I missed a lot of comments, so I skipped a lot. My bad, y'all. Cause Sandra said, organize ASAP, time to work. I stopped trying to get a team. I train alone, and when I look at my brother's bodies, when we talk, I know I'm alone. Bill Gates, my brother, what it do? Renee P was, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you for coming through. KW Don 7 said, Uruguay has no limit to maintain their hegemony. Yeah, hegemony. Yeah. Go ahead, Bakari.
Yeah. See, when I be getting stuck on the words, y'all don't ever help me. I help you though. Y'all just let me stutter and try to figure it out. And I just say, fuck it, I don't know how to say it. See, but I help you though. I'm just letting you know that.
Y'all know more words than me, Bukari.
Y'all leave me stuck. But anyway, what Oni was saying, it's about it don't matter. I understand exactly what he's saying. If we don't have the drones, and I don't know, have y'all ever been out when anybody flew a drone over your head? I have, right? When when the cop murdered Rayshard Brooks. Juneteenth of that year, they did a drive-by on some black people when they started popping fireworks. They hit two. Black people buzzed back. They don't know if they hit them because they're right next to the interstate. So the very next day when I found out, me and Anuli, we went down there. We had our shit. So the white boys tried to jump by everybody down there. But anyway, and they run them off. But as soon as they run, I say about 5-10 minutes after they ran them off, there was a drone come hover over our head for about 10 minutes. It was just hovering there, just sitting there. You want to shoot it down, but the people out there we was talking, they were cool, but I had to leave because weed and alcohol don't mix good with guns and bullets. You understand what I'm saying? So they flew around to make a noise, they don't tell them what was gonna happen. But I've seen that happen. But my thing, like, I'm gonna tell you, this is just me, and I ain't telling nobody to think like me, right? But I don't give a damn, right? I had 7 of them surround me one night. And the one little one, he was doing the most talk. And I saw it was like in the big guy. It was one real big one, big fat dude, probably about 6'3", 6'4", about 300 pounds. And the little guy was talking. Because as they talking, I'm not saying nothing. I'm assessing the situation to see what I'm gonna hit first, because I ain't trying to run. So when I saw the big dude come out and get behind me, I could tell he was their enforcer. I made this one statement. If you say another word, I'm gonna turn around and beat the shit out of him. And I didn't have to say nothing else, because when I made that statement, he left. When he left, all the wind in their sails left. So when he left, I turned around, what y'all want to do? Look, it's just me, and I ain't telling nobody to do what I do. I just believe I could have whooped them 7 white boys. They're just the honest truth. I don't give it. I just really believed I could have whooped them. I wouldn't run it nowhere. Like I honestly believe, and only I know you don't know me, but if you was to ever meet any of my friends, they'll tell you. Picard, they're one of the few motherfuckers I know would tell you. You say, who want to fight Mike Tyson? I would whoop Mike Tyson ass. And I'm just being honest with you. I don't. It ain't nothing. But see, when you're talking about the military and the training they're doing, this is something I did notice, and this is why I tell people, let's stop telling our youth, don't go to the military. You train them up right, let them do them 3 years. I literally met white boys in the military. They come in to be infantry, and they take that training back. They're not coming in to retire. They coming in to learn all of that stuff so they can take it back to their people so they can train. We have to want that type of training. First, we have to want that type of discipline. We have to want to protect ourselves, right? Because I don't think they don't need. I don't think. Could be wrong. I just in 2022 they're not. Their military is the ones you're seeing who the dude was talking about that got arrested. You understand? That's who. That's their military on these streets for them. That was their military that swarmed their capital. That was their military out here. So they are preparing. Everyone is. We are not preparing. We are not. And we need to start preparing. Yeah, time to work. I know they don't need a military to train, but they absolutely go in the military to train, and information ain't here. I don't know if you ever been in the military or not, but you run around thinking you know and ain't never been. It's completely different. You ain't gonna know what no dude in the army who's infantry know. A dude in the Marines, you ain't gonna know what they know. You're not gonna know all of their survival skills. You ain't gonna know this stuff because you haven't been trained for it. They're just a fact. I was in the military. It's just that's why they send their people so they can learn that military training, so they can go out there, so they can know formations, so they can understand squad. You understand what I'm saying? There's an understanding. They understand the chain of command. And they send them train to shoot when they don't have, maybe they don't have any time, but they send them there. They learning how to use. They becoming experts with the AR-15. They becoming experts with sniper rifles. That's their, and they are bringing, and they are taking it back to their people. I've seen it. There's one dude from Kentucky. He was already knew how to shoot, but he's not staying in. He's infantry. He got to go back. He got to go back to where he's from. It's just different, and it's more. The biggest thing of it is more of a discipline. They're not tough. They're not necessarily tougher than you. It's just more of a discipline. And when I say infantry, I don't know if people know what infantry is, but do you know what infantry job is? Do you know what infantry is trained for? Infantry have one job. They are trained to just kill. When you hear somebody say they're in the Marines or the Army and they are a grunt, their only job is they don't know how to do. That's all they're trained for. They are trained to kill. They ain't fixing shit. Maybe their gun, they'll clean it, their weapon, but they are trained to kill. That's it.
But brother Bakari, let me just clarify. When you say infantry, you talking about the Marines, right?
Army too.
Or you talking about different?
Army too. Army got infantry.
Okay.
I was in the Army. Army has infantry. They
walk. Okay, so I know the Marines is trained like that. I don't know if I know you were saying the infantry trained like that too.
Yeah, Army trained just like that. That's their only job. And they send their people to the military to learn their skill and take it back. Go ahead, MG2. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to make it too long because I know Brother Forecast has to get through the videos. And I love the fact that brothers are going in the service and learning. So in their service, excuse me, not the service because it's not ours. Their service, i.e.,
I heard you say that.
Yeah, because my frame of reference is me and not them. But one thing that I kind of I have to say, irrespective, all that training means nothing if we have not used that training for ourselves. I see that a lot of the and I'm gonna bring it to you and all you brothers. Al Qaeda used the same training. Whether the Peckerwoods have nuclear bombs, whether they have massive warships or anything, I don't care what they have. Neither did the Viet Cong, neither did the North Koreans, neither did the Iraqi, neither did the Syrians, and neither did now Afghanistan. It didn't matter what they were faced with, they did push-ups. And their push-ups were not just getting on the ground doing push-ups. They went ahead and took whatever training they could and applied it to themselves. Now, a lot of times brothers can say, well, I'm training and I'm doing this. Here's the kicker. There's a Patriot Front militia. There's a, what's the Michigan militia. There's the, what's the name, Wolves. So clearly it's definitely a conflict as the fact that we might have training. We might, again, it's a lot of palaver. We talk. We don't do, we talk. And I got to be real. Because this conversation it would be moot if we were out in the fields right now having our own militias, and they would be doing, on white television, they'd be doing things about, look at all those black militias over here, and look at what that, and instead of seeing a Negro that's over there talking about white, trying to get white acceptance, talking about white militias, you would have Sean Hannity and everybody else saying there are too many black militias, because we would have taken our military training and would have had fight practice. We would have had weapons practice, not here and there, but as a way of life. See, a lot of these Peckerwoods might be working at the plumber, they might be working whatever, but this is their way of life. Their way of life is trying to hold on to their hegemonic system. And unlike us, it's a pipe dream, it's a Wakanda, it's entertainment. And I'm not mad at us because I love us. But the thing is, I have to look, this is not just facts, this is the record. Because the record is stating, and a lot of folks will mention in fact and all these other in the Nation of Islam, bottom line is, it's marginal when you can see a Patriot Front or Oath Keepers, whether it's 38,000 or 300,000, they don't care. They're going to continue doing what they do because they brought that skill back to go ahead and take it and make sure they can maintain or take control of even their own so-called government. So I long for the day when brothers don't go ahead and put limits on themselves against these crackers or anyone else by saying they have nuclears or they have this or they have whatever. Because Vietnam, and I saw that firsthand when I was a youngster, and I saw those helicopters being thrown off the ships live. on television. Walter Cronkite and everybody else was showing that. I saw that. And that was Vietnam. I saw it when it happened with Operation Desert Storm and Iraqi Freedom. I saw it just recently when they were kicked out of Afghanistan, and it looked exactly like it was in Vietnam, no different than what I saw back in 1976. So I long for the day when brothers say, I will do some push-ups. I will go ahead and not put limits on myself because they might be all too powerful or got too much of this, because I've seen it done before where others don't have drones and they kicked out the country that does. That just happened earlier in March of this year. I'll pass the mic there, Brother Forecast.
Forecast, I know you heard. Let me say one thing real quick. When we did have a militia, and I know people don't like Grandmaster Jay, and it ain't even about Grandmaster Jay. We made a movement with him marching out with 5,000 black people. We made a movement about one person to talk negative about that one person and what they were doing. We forgot about the other 4,999 that was out there with him. I'm not saying I think Grandmaster Jay may have been incompetent the way he did things, but we focused on one and made that militia that was growing, made that militia look bad because of how we felt about one person. And when you see what they did, they're the reason them people that killed Ahmed Arbery was arrested. On video, you saw they made. So when they made white militias back up, but when we did bring it back, right? Me, I want to do the same thing. Unfortunately for me, I haven't met people that want to do it. I done linked up with a brother who was a damn special forces in the Marine, and we having the same problem. We can't get nobody to want to do it. That's why I didn't say, that's why I tried, not me personally, tried not to say nothing negative about NFAC, because Grandmaster Jay was one person. There was 4,999 more people that did that march, in Louisville or in Atlanta. There was 4,999 more that was with him, and we made about one person. And the person that I know, the few people I knew that was in it, that was part of the reason they say they stopped, because they leaving their little babies at home, and when they watch YouTube, they think black people might be proud, but when they watch YouTube, only thing they were hearing was negative things said about them. I get the mic.
Yeah, I'll just say about the reason why I brought up the nukes and all that shit was not so much. Well, basically, what I was saying is that white folk, like, it don't matter if you could win a one-on-one with them, because they don't fight one-on-one. That's all I was saying. You know, as to say that, you know, like, obviously, if you could win a one-on-one, that's good, but like their MO is not to fight you one-on-one. That don't mean that they, you know, I subscribe by the there's this video, I can't remember, I think it was like some Switzerland people were singing like they was from Vietnam or some shit. They're bigging up the Vietnamese, and they were like, the Vietnamese were saying that the Americans are just paper tigers. You know, I completely subscribe to this idea that the Americans are paper tigers, but you know, but what I'm also saying is that, you know, they're not trying to, they don't control what they control based off of their, you know, fisticuffs, is what I'm saying, you know. And that's something that we have to come to terms with as a people, is that, you know, realistically, even if I could beat up a judge, you know, that don't mean much in terms of what that judge could do, you know. That's what I was saying. But yeah, brother, if you brother Forecast, if you want to put in videos, I'm not trying to hold you.
Yeah, because there's a lot of comments. I'm not gonna be able to read everybody's comments. I see Bakari and Time to Work kind of going back and forth, but you know, I forgot to say shouts out to Tracy Amani, brother. JB, appreciate you, and Bitter Medicine Podcast. Thank y'all for coming through. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we can go to the next thing, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can keep the same energy, even though it may not be the same kind of thing, but it is in the long run. So, you know, it is no theme today, so y'all can, that's why I'm not really tripping, you know. So all right, this one, and I'm gonna play like 3 videos, but y'all can stop whenever you want. But you know, this is not the same as the last ones, but it is. All right.
Additionally, Warren said Parish Criminal District Court Judge Lori White allegedly told then intern clerk Patrice Warren in her courtroom to go call your massa. Additionally, Warren said her formerly.
Now I wonder if she wanted those 38,000 because that list is deep. She is a judge
Amicable
here.
relationship with Judge White changed after the clerk refused to sign an affidavit related to White's defense against sexual harassment allegations. Warren, who was dismissed on July.
All right, we're gonna skip this one because y'all get it, but watch this one. This one not long. I'm not playing this whole video.
You son of a bitch. I'll tell you, black ass.
What'd you say?
All right.
You're gonna sit there, aren't you? Move your car. You son of a bitch. I'll tell you, black ass.
What'd you say? Black ass? Beautiful.
I'm gonna get the police here, pal.
Yeah, hey, guess what? I've been recording the last 10 minutes. I heard you say, move your ass, black ass.
Yeah.
Great.
What are you?
Yeah.
An ass?
Yeah,
And you're black.
ass, yeah.
No, you're.
And
you're black.
And your address and your
I'm
address.
not really afraid. What, are you gonna boycott me? What, are you gonna march? Destroy buildings like you guys do?
Like we do? Like who? Like black people?
Black Lives Matter does.
Like Black Lives Matter. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Took $90 million from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. Hey, this is Paul Thulin. How you
Get out of my
doing?
car.
How you doing?
Get out of my car.
Oh, how you doing? I'm Paul Thulin,
Yep, Paul
and the
Thulin.
son of a bitch is parked in our clinic parking spot. It says no parking,
Yep.
and he can't read.
They've been closed for 2 hours.
Yeah. No, I have not been closed. There's a
If you
sign
go to
that
Google,
says right
if you
there.
go to Google review, they close at their closed hours or have been at least an hour.
No, no, it hasn't. You see what that
Yep.
sign says?
Yeah, I know what the sign says.
Sign says it's open.
I know what it says on the internet.
Open.
All right. So I'm gonna play this last one, yo. This dude is recording his boss here, his white girl boss.
What Terrell I'm going to get, because I'm not going to continue to deal with one mood and then another mood and then back and forth.
What was the second mood and what was the back and forth? You asked me for a picture. I told you I hadn't sent it to you yet. And then you got the picture. And
Yeah, there's a respect thing. You have one set of respect when you're in a good mood, and then you have a completely different set of respect.
how did I disrespect you?
First of all, don't cut me off. Let me finish what I'm saying. So you have a mood that resonates across the store when you're not in a good mood. We watched it come out with a customer for God only knows what reason. This morning, you were in a chipper. Good morning. Hey, what's going on, mood? And then there's times throughout the day where you're just like, nobody fucking talked to me. And it like, what's going on?
I've never said that. And that's
I'm not
the
saying
case.
it. Never once
No,
did I
but-
say that you said it.
Okay,
I say that you said it.
okay, but you're saying these are my moods or these are what I'm giving off, which is how I'm going across. So I'm confused as to how you're seeing that. That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody in the store sees it.
Okay.
So what Terrell are we going to get every moment of the day?
This is the first time I've heard this, so I don't know.
Sound like she was
My
trying to
other
get on and
issue,
he turned her
when you leave
down.
the store and you're not coming back,
Okay.
you address me.
Okay.
You don't address Gladys, you address me. I get that you and Gladys have a relationship.
Not at all. She had also told Brooklyn to leave. You let her tell Brooklyn she
No,
could
no.
leave, and I wasn't feeling well. So how does that work if one person could do it and I can't?
First of all, you left for lunch
No.
or wherever you left
I told her I
for.
wasn't feeling well. Jarrell heard that, so I have an accomplice and a witness as well. My stomach was hurting. I threw up, and I asked to go home.
So
and she sent
calm
me
down,
home.
first of
I'm
all.
not
You will not
talking
talk
anyway.
to me like
this is all
this.
being recorded, so you're lying right now by saying that I'm yelling at you.
You literally just got upset.
I promise it's all being recorded, so we can play it for whoever. I
We
promise you.
couldn't play it.
He got upset. He got
Is for you to have a consistent mood if you have stuff going on outside of the store.
Nothing's going on.
Okay. I'm going to document your people stuff because you refuse to have a conversation with me without cutting me off and you're not hearing me out. All I'm asking you is to have a consistent mood. If you have stuff going on outside of the store, to leave it outside of the store. When you leave,
MG2, you know the key word he's missing here. Yes, sir. How you can say it better.
I don't care who you tell. You did not tell me that you left.
Okay, so
That is my issue. I'm your store manager.
Okay, so my question to you is: Brooklyn can get clearance from Gladys to leave when she's feeling sick.
Was
and
I in the
cannot.
store?
Yes.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
I was not in the store when
You
Brooklyn
were.
left.
So I mean, please do and document it so I can understand the discrimination that's going on here.
There's
I'd
no
appreciate it.
discrimination.
It is because if a female can do it and be told she can leave because she's not feeling well, and I throw up in the bathroom.
Not a black man, but
and
a
I'm
female.
feeling well. That doesn't make sense. Also, the fact that you can let a female employee harass me while I'm in the bathroom, make a joke about it with your husband, but no one else said that there was a problem, and they won't agree with you there was a problem with the lady because she told me she didn't care 3 times about me telling her why I couldn't return her modem. So I just told her, hey, I can't return this modem, but I'm still going to give you a new one. That's not snapping at somebody. That's me trying to explain a little bit of this job I actually understand.
Okay.
So I get it, dog, but like, if you don't like me, tell me you don't like me, but don't do this thing and make it like it's my fault.
Stop raising your fucking voice to me.
Don't yell at me. Don't curse at me.
Terrell, first of all, look at what you're doing.
Please.
Okay. We're gonna have a conversation with Brent and Curtis. I'm going out the fucking door. I swear to God, if he goes to hunt, like attack me like you just did, like swearing up to me.
There's cameras everywhere. You're a liar.
You literally.
There's cameras everywhere. You're a liar. All right. Have a good night, though.
Damn. So the square body Jones said he was about to attack her after that. Now that may not be as interesting. Y'all want to say something about that one? Okay, Tanzan.
Hey, I can tell you this: that dude in that car was doing too much explaining to the old white man, to the old white boy.
I was gonna say the same thing. I long for the day that and I said this many a time, and I'm sure that's where you got it, Brother Bakari. The day that we stop explaining. Brother Bakari, did you even do dishes today? Brother Forecast, did you wash your car today? And did you guys even go to a squirrel, or did you go to a seagull and tell them why you didn't get it done, and that you forgot to do dishes? It's no different than us trying to explain to these animals. It's like trying to explain ourselves to a duck or to a seagull or a squirrel. I know you guys don't do that. If you didn't do your dishes, you're not going to go to a squirrel and say, well, see, it's this and that and this and that. No. I long, and I know you guys heard me say this many a time in live streams, I long for the day that we stop explaining ourselves to animals. I don't know if the Negro in the car, I don't know if it was a cop, even if it was a cop. The thing is, black folk, we owe them nothing but an ass whooping, as Dr. John Herbert Clark says. We don't owe them our precious minute. Time is very finite. I don't know if you guys know about me, but there's this thing called death, and it actually works. That's the only thing that I can guarantee that's actually 100% works all the time. It's called death. In other words, time is very finite. We don't have that much time on this planet. Why are you spending 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 10 minutes, 10 seconds explaining to an animal that's beneath your toes? It doesn't even equate to who you are, why, and whatever. It's as simple as this. You got a problem? Record it. Don't even say nothing. Record it, and then sue. I mean, it's that simple. But to sit there and try to explain as if you're trying to prove a point to a duck or a seagull means that, like they say, if you getting down and wanting to fight in the mud with a pig, you both get dirty. I'm flummoxed at this late stage of the game where our mindsets are, because we're always trying to live to someone else's standards. That's why you always hear me say the word there. That is not, when I hear brothers talk about the military, it's not the, that's there. Remember, the word the is absolute. Okay, when I say it's absolute, and this is the training that we've been indoctrinated with for centuries, because even in our vocabulary, even in our words, our lexicon, we use terms of dominance, giving it to others, and we don't dominate our own destiny. That's why I don't say the word the. This brother, he lives the word the, because he was talking to this peckerwood who was beneath his feet, but now he's explaining his life to him, spending all his precious, the brother in the office, spending all his precious emotion and time that he could be thinking about something else, dealing with an animal, this Becky. But the thing is like I say, the word the is absolute. If I tell you guys, and I'm in a room and I say, go get me a chair, you know there's going to be a few chairs because I say, go get me a chair. But if I say, go get me the chair, chances are that's the only thing in the room. That's the only chair that's in that room. I long for the day when we start to look at ourselves as the frame of reference, stop going the military, the economy, the government, the, it's theirs. And anything that they set up, they've established is theirs. The moment you use the term the, that means you ain't no different than the Tariq Nasheeds or any other slave on this planet. You're no different. And a hypocrite if you say you're not. The thing is I'm trying to get our frame of what do you frame as your ideal? What is your frame? What is your standard? And if that standard is something else, go ahead and admit it. Say, I'm just not there yet. I'm not mad. I'm just saying, hey, I appreciate and I love you. But at least admit the truth to yourselves. One of the things that I notice more often than not, and especially when we're dealing with this animal that could easily be beaten. That's why I had to I didn't even bring up Japan in the Bataan March. and what happened in the Philippines. I didn't even bring up the so-called Spanish-American War. I didn't bring up how France got its ass whooped in Haiti. See, when we start to go ahead and use ourselves as a frame of reference, it doesn't matter whether it's a Conor McGregor or their entire military. We know they're beneath our toes. They're mortals. They die. That's the mentality that other folks have in their businesses. Don't ask me, why do you think China's taken over just about damn near everything in Las Vegas? I mean, they own so much in terms of assets that blow your mind. Why do you think that other nations are doing their own currency mechanisms and everything else, saying, wait a minute, we're going to use ourselves as our own standards? And these are the countries that don't care about what kind of power, economic or otherwise, their enemy or their competitor has. It's only us as Black folk that are always trying to measure ourselves using someone else's the standard. I'll pass the mic.
All right. Well, Tanzan just came on here, so yeah, I'm gonna let Tanzan go, and then y'all can say what y'all want to say.
Well, okay, Amani,
Hey, Tanzan, it was a little low. It's going in and out, though. I can hear you though. Go ahead, Amani, Dada.
Amani, how about now?
Yeah, you good now.
Okay. Well, I wasn't really going to come on, but that female dog just pissed me all the way off. Look, what we saw was, something akin to emotional castration. This lady wants to, assert her, her whiteness. The thing about Black men in America is you are allowed to be Black. You go black, blackity, black, blah, black. But what you're not allowed to be is to be a man. You're not allowed to assert yourself. You have to speak in these measured tones and say, you actually, I was feeling quite sick, and what, and just have to.
Oh, we could barely hear you, sis.
Oh, shoot. How about now?
Yeah, much better.
That's great.
Okay.
Keep screaming. Keep screaming.
Okay. So the rules are, it's a constant emotional castration. You're only allowed to be Black, but you're not allowed to be a man. You're only allowed to speak in certain tones. And this lady was trying to prod him and poke him. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, so she was trying to prod, and she's like, I'm a damsel in distress, but at the same time, she wants him to rise up and become, that ogre that she knows him to be. And then it's frustrating for her because he's not, jumping on the bait or whatever. So unfortunately, sometimes because of, obviously she's in a position of authority, and he has to sort of kowtow to her. He cannot really speak as he wants to. He cannot be himself, and he has to, that code switching is just like double when you're switching also with, this. First of all, she's a woman. She's your boss. She's, somebody who is either hostile. She's hostile, but she also wants you in a way. So you don't even know what tone to take with her. So Koku was, all quoting Gus Mob, but I have to show to quote him, give him credit for this one, that Black men in America are just not allowed to be men. You're allowed to be Black, you're allowed to throw your fist in the air and all that, but don't try to be a man. You can be a feminine man, you can be a feminine Black, you can be a castrated Black, but you cannot be a man. That's that's denied. So
hey, you going down low again, Tan. You going
okay, sorry.
Yeah, you got to stay right there.
She's doing limbo or something.
Well, I'm on my phone, unfortunately. I'm usually on the laptop. I can go out and come back again if it's intelligible.
I heard what she said. Y'all heard what she said?
She said intelligible. I don't know if that's a word.
Like
I don't know. Intelligible. All right. But all right. It's probably something that Tanzan says. I don't know.
Look, let me just say this. I will leave and come back. How about that?
No, just stay. Just stick around. I think we heard you. Just shout. Just keep shouting. But what I would say, so about those two videos, I mean, I don't think they were as important as the other ones. Like that guy, I'm not even going to put it on race per se on that one. I mean, it is obviously there's a race thing to it, but I'll tell y'all that low key, I dealt with a sister that was like that. That's that passive aggression shit that like that's how a lot of people operate on that passive aggression. I don't expect white people not to operate on it. She's kind of pushing the guy, and the guy is low key kind of soft, and the guy also doesn't know how to interact with people with that sort of social disability. I don't know if it's because like I said, I dealt with this. I tell you,
Are
man.
you calling him slow?
Come again? Am I
Are
calling
you
her?
calling slow?
I call him what slow? Am I calling slow?
Are you saying that the guy is slow?
No, he's no, I mean like no, not slow. No, he's not slow. I'm saying that like basically the lady had passive aggressive tendencies. And so when you engaging with people with passive aggressive tendencies, like they are designed to like prod you, push you, and get you antagonist. Because like she's always like, stop yelling at me. And when somebody like that's how police interact with black youth too. They're just like, like they know how to push your buttons. Like I was the other day, I'm telling you, I was talking to the sister who had passive aggression. I tell you, I mean, like I'm a calm dude, but the way how she was just blah blah blah, like I started like losing my shit. You know what I mean? But like it was over the phone, so it's not like I was like whatever. But like it's like that's a thing. Like low key, like how you interact. Like real talk, you're not supposed to engage with them. Period. She confronts him to talk to him, and she's just like, you have two personalities, blah 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 blah. And it's like he was really in like a no-win situation, and he did start losing his shit, but that's what she was doing. That's what her design was, to lie on him and all that kind of stuff. What he like, he had no options. Real talk. There are just toxic people on this planet. There are passive aggressive people on this planet, and how you engage that is like realistically, like he just has to like change jobs. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's only white people who have that passive aggressive shit, but like passive aggression is really popular in America, and like you just kind of have to recognize that and navigate accordingly. What he was doing was like yeah, it's a shitty position because like she was above him, in that sense, like she is his employer or whatever, and he just kind of like what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do if you want that job? Then like you're under some mad person. Now what I would do is I would just go over her head and be like, this lady does not have proper social skills, but like because I was in that position. In fact, low key, I had this this lady with like, I think she was like autistic, some sort of autism. I can't remember what it was. What do you say, Tanzania?
I said it's not low key anymore. Whatever you're about to say, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, some lady. I don't know if she had autism, but she had something. No, she had autism, some sort of one of them things. But like she was just rude as fuck, and it was like through messaging and shit. So I just said, "F it, man. I'm going to human resources. Fuck you." You know what I mean? And I got human resources. Now I don't know if they did much, but like that's pretty much all you can do. If a motherfucker is a lunatic, like you just have to like point out, hey, this motherfucker's a lunatic. I mean, they're not always going to take your side, but that's like the all you could do. Like if somebody, but like the young man who's being recorded, like he started breaking, he started sounding soft, like low key. But it is what it is.
All right.
Oh yeah,
but
I would just say that I don't know if this is that as important as the other one. I mean, as the other stuff, it just seems like so I don't really have much to say on it. Like it just seemed like a shitty situation for the dude to be in, but that's what it is. If you rely on other people, their people are going to be elevated above you, and that's it.
Yeah, facts. And I know what you mean, like, and that's why I had to say that it isn't as quote unquote as important. But if you look at it, I didn't see them in the car saying like, why I can't sit on the block or whatever. I see them going to training camps, you know what I'm saying? I see us having this apologetic kind of thing where we got to explain ourselves, you know what I'm saying? It's the mindset do we really want to have? But so before we go to the next one, any last words on that one? We can always go back, but all right. So at the beginning, right, I know it seemed kind of left field, and I was showing the OJ Simpson thing, right? But they still mad about OJ, and I like trolling them with that. But you know, they on Chris Rock now head about something he said about Chris Rock. I mean, about Nicole Brown. Let me play the whatever her name is, you know, the white bitch that got killed. But guess what, y'all? The glove did not fit. So
getting slapped once again, this time though, facing some backlash for a recent joke he made about O.J. Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson.
Yeah, during a recent stand-up show in Phoenix, Arizona, Chris revealed he turned down the offer to host the 2023 Academy Awards while comparing the idea of hosting like returning to the scene of a murder. Chris specifically referenced the murder of OJ's ex-wife, which of course began with an evening at an Italian restaurant where she famously left her eyeglasses before she was killed. Chris compared his return to the Oscars like asking Nicole Brown to go back to the restaurant.
Several users online were quick to call out Chris for joking about the murdered woman.
now all of a sudden it's not funny. Like if I be like, yo, a dude that went to a drove to a parade is a hero. Now all of a sudden it's not funny. You find how we could talk about all these things and it's so funny up until it gets to that point. Now all of a sudden, oh, these are jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I guess if he would have said she had alopecia, would have been
One
cool.
person writing, can the Academy suspend Chris Rock over his Nicole Brown Simpson remarks as it relates to their organization in a negative way? I think I understand where Will Smith was coming from better.
Some also pointed out that this is the first time Chris has joked about the murder. In 1996, Chris performed a controversial stand-up set.
Went back to 1996 on him for this one,
where he sympathized with OJ and argued that Nicole had it coming.
Meanwhile, Nicole's sister Tanya Brown was among those criticizing Chris, telling TMZ that the joke wasn't just unfunny, it literally doesn't make sense.
Tanya also added that Chris's attempt at humor was distasteful, to say the least, and offensive to the family, as there are still surviving family members who are dealing with losing Nicole every day, and this type of stuff hits close to home.
Not funny.
Not funny.
It's just not funny. I love Chris. I think he's hilarious. I think a lot of his stuff hits and he's great. Hurt feelings, and I just don't know why he would have done that.
And I think, too, it just brings up those feelings again. I've never had somebody, you know, close to me who's been murdered, but I can only imagine that just seeing that name in the press again and remembering Nicole every single day, but to hear somebody joking about her murder just isn't funny. I mean, Chris could have literally compared this to anything else. I would never go back to the restaurant that served me a pubic hair in my soup.
Okay, fair.
But you
That's
know
not
what
funny.
I mean? Like, I'm not
not as funny as a dead white girl. So let me get that clear. Yo, listen to Tanya Brown here, Nicole Brown's sister.
Days after Chris Rock's unusual joke about the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, her sister Tanya Brown is calling out the comedian. The 57-year-old comedian was on his ego death stand-up.
She ugly.
What he told
You know she like 32, right?
She is ugly. Wee.
FOA, she ain't no 30. She 32? Damn.
Might as well be. It's hard to tell the difference. I might be wrong.
the crowd that he turned down hosting the Oscars, just months after Will Smith slapped him on live TV during the 2022 Oscar telecast. He told his
now
fans
it's funny,
that
right?
returning to host would be like asking Nicole Brown Simpson to go back to the restaurant, referencing the late wife of O.J. Simpson on the night she was murdered. Nicole was dining at an Italian restaurant and left her sunglasses there, with waiter
Allegedly.
Ron Goldman returning the glasses to her before they were both brutally murdered outside of her home. Tanya, 50.
Oh yeah, I skipped the part. The dude tried to bring up the joke that he brought up before. He was like, in 1996 when Chris Rock did his stand up, he said, I understand. He was like, I'm not saying it's right that he killed Nicole, but I understand. You know what I'm saying? Because what was this waiter doing at her house anyway? And she was into a whole lot of stuff, so who knows what was going on? You know.
51, a mental health advocate and motivational speaker, took to her Instagram. Wake up on a Tuesday morning with TMZ calling you, saying Chris Rock made a horrible joke about Nicole. She began adding the joke was beyond distasteful. Nothing funny about his joke towards Jada as she suffers from a physical condition, and nothing funny about equating an Oscar host invitation to a double homicide. I always thought he was funny, but he crossed the line with this one. In other words, y'all, stop using my sister OJ and Ron part of your pricking comedy act. There are families behind this tragedy. Rock has yet to address Tanya Brown's comments publicly on his social media quite yet, though he did.
Yeah, shut the. All right, so listen, I'm gonna stop here. All right, y'all may not be as interested in that one as me, but you know, They really hate this dude, OJ Simpson. And he may be not black, he may be OJ, but they really hate him, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? The glove did not fit. So, you know, it is what it is, y'all. So we got to accept that and move on, right? History is the history. But any of y'all got to say anything about that one? And shout out Truth 884.
Yeah, I wish the glove had fit because, then I would say, hey, at least there's one of us out there that got our hands dirty with our enemy's blood. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. It is what it is. I'm not mad. It's, no emotion on it. I'd say, hey, cool. At least he got his target. It was rumored that Miles Davis, before he died, they asked him, what do you regret the most? And he says, I never killed a white man. That's a hell of a regret that many of you guys are going to go to your graves thinking. I mean, it is what it is. But when it comes to this Nicole Brown Simpson thing, see, the same Peckerwoods that were out there talking about, dismissing Chris Rock were the same crackers that were over there doing what was called Trayvoning. I know y'all remember that. The Trayvoning back in 2014 and 2015, where they'd have Peckerwoods for, Halloween would be laying on the ground pretending they were Trayvon Martin. Brother Forecast, I expect my enemy to do this. I have no problem. What they're doing, talking about Nicole Brown, that devil, that little harlot, she was such a slut, a hazmat wouldn't touch her because there was no petri dish they could find that could be safe enough. So the thing is, I don't mind, I don't care what they do. Hey, I think it's entertainment. It's what affects us as African, as black folks that matters to me the most. And the thing is, I hope that glove fit. One thing that Africans and brothers, I hope you get this one. One day you'll get this. I don't fear the man with the military skill as much as I fear the man with the military will. Because I don't care what kind of skill you got. If you don't have the will to go ahead and do what you got to do to get shit done, it ain't never going to get done. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, and hey, real quick before y'all get into it too, right? Because we can do this, right? Because I was going to do this one for last, but speaking of Chris Rock, it just dawned on me. I haven't heard nobody play it, and I don't like to play it. But this is the perfect time. Now, this is using the N word. You know what I'm saying? This was one of the last two topics. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, and then we're gonna talk about the Nigeria thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, listen to this.
Never. Even their kids are rich. Yeah. But when a black guy gets rich, it's countdown to when he's poor again.
He's the blackest white guy I fucking know. And then all the negative things we think about black people, this fucker.
You're saying I'm a nigger.
Yes, you are the niggerest fucking white man I have ever.
Amazing. I don't think he could do that.
Oh,
what?
I don't think he has those
There's
qualities.
only two. You don't even understand.
Really?
You don't really know him. Like, I've worked with him.
No, like your bit about.
I wouldn't use it anywhere.
No, exactly. These two.
We say nigger on stage.
On stage.
You guys don't. That's
that's
two
the
teams
That's
here.
the difference between.
That's right. That's right. We say nigger on stage. You guys don't.
But that's definitely a pairing. Who says nigger on stage? We don't.
Well, you just did.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
You and me say nigger in private.
No.
These two guys don't. I don't believe he says it in private.
I've given it up just because it's played.
I don't believe it's. I don't think you've ever said it probably in your life.
No.
Yeah, that's the huge difference between you and me. I think.
Well, you found the humor of it.
Yeah.
I haven't found it.
Right.
Nor do I seek it.
Right.
I mean,
so find a way.
Can I squeeze?
You know what though, Jerry? All of a sudden, having a great nigger bit would be pretty amazing.
Oh,
it would be amazing.
Oh, dude,
because he retired it.
Yeah,
he retired it.
No, he did.
In '96.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Anytime you come even close to cursing, people, ooh,
yeah.
Damn.
Hey, Forecast.
Yeah.
The more y'all play him and listen to him, the more people gonna understand why I say the things that I say. But it's okay. I know people don't listen to me. I'm gonna be about 98 years old, sitting out there in my old 1997 dump truck, just talking to myself. People gonna wish they had a list. Y'all better learn to let people like Chris Rock go. People like Chris Rock, and OJ better learn to let them go.
Damn.
You gotta just let them go, man. And he let the white people say it with the hard ER, as if that makes a difference. And he's sitting there chilling like it's just okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this 30 seconds too. Watch this, Bakari.
I've tried to reel that one in a little bit. Here's the thing. I have to say it sometimes to make a point, okay? Sometimes I have to say the N-word to make a point. Not hatefully, because I love blacks, and I don't want to offend blacks by spitefully calling them the N-word. You know, but sometimes you have to say that just to demonstrate you're not controlled, you know? I don't, well, I'm not going to say I don't enjoy it. I do actually enjoy it immensely. But, I know it's not appropriate, but that's why sometimes you have to say that. It's why sometimes you just got to put that out there, because in saying that, you're communicating, I'm not controlled. Because people say, oh, if you say that, then you won't have this, you won't have that. People won't want to talk to you. That's exactly why I have to say it.
Oh, man. All right, so.
Hey, should people be mad? People that use the N-word, should they be mad? I'm done. I'm just wondering. People who consider themselves that, should they be mad?
Wait, was that the same lady? Well, was that the same lady holding the phone? Is this a video format? I don't get it.
No, her channel, she shows those kind of videos, you know what I'm saying?
And her holding the phone?
No, the video that was playing with the person saying the N-word thing, the white boy talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, she was playing the video.
Yeah,
she reacts to it pretty much.
Oh, it's the same lady from the last one though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't tell because the hair was different.
That white dude enjoys saying it sometime too. He let y'all know that.
Yeah, he should. I mean, like, I don't like that's the thing. Like, black folk being outraged over the N-word just don't even make any sense to anybody. You know, it's like white people made the word. Like, I don't even get it. Like, they've been using it before we were using it, and we using it just looks dumb. You know, like, that's it. It just looks dumb. It ain't even like if I walked around like people calling each other stupid and then be like, don't call me stupid. Like, wait, what? You know, like if I've been calling you stupid, like if a bunch of stupid people like suddenly, start calling themselves stupid and then they say it don't sound right when you say it. It's like, what kind of dumb shit is that? And you think I'm gonna stop calling you stupid just because you started calling yourself stupid? Like, no. I mean, you gonna be stupid regardless of whether or not you call yourself. Like, it's just dumb. Like white people saying it is like, I don't like in America. Of all the countries, yeah, I expect white people to say it. If a white person isn't saying it, that's nice. You know what I mean? But like, that's all it is. I mean, I guess I don't like white folk calling me it, but like, I don't know any white people who do call me it. And I mean, would I flip out? Like, it would depend. But it's the same thing. It's like, white people know how to push your buttons, pretty much. Like the lady in that video, I don't want to say lady, but you know what I'm talking about. The one who was talking to that boy who was, at his job or whatever. Like, she knew how to push his buttons without even saying the N-word. But like, of course, if he said the N-word, he probably would have struck out at her. Good for him, because now he's gonna be like locked the fuck up. You know what I mean? So it's just white people know how to do it. This is what the police do like every fucking day. Like every day, the police are going up to black folk, knowing what to say in order to get us to react. And then when we react, they know how to respond in kind. You know what I mean? And that's like, it is what it is. I personally, my belief is that you don't let other people know what your weakness is. Like, you don't tell them what word is going to trigger you. But if you let them know what word is going to trigger you or what behavior is going to trigger you, you're going to be triggered 9 times out of 10. Like, if I'm with a woman and I've learned her weakness, yeah, I'm gonna push it if I want to, right? But like, I don't let them know my freaking weakness. You know what I mean? That could be a woman I'm with, right? You don't let anybody know your weakness. So I mean, this whole thing about yeah, of course this white boy's gonna say the N-word, and he has a good reason to. It's like he's saying, hey, look, I want to show you that I'm not being censored. I'm not trying to filter myself. That's a good thing. That's a good shtick or whatever for his people. I can't fault him for that. I don't know why black folk are looking at, like, my thing is, why are black folk engaging this white boy's media expecting it to be inclusive of black folk or expecting it to be sympathetic for black folk. Because it's like why? I don't go to China and be like, where's all the black representation? I don't expect black representation in China. And we expect black representation in America because we are kind of like black American centered, and that's okay because we're, black Americans or we know black Americans, whatever, right? But it's like, this is still a European country. You know what I mean? So if they are focused on their own people, like that's what they're supposed to be doing. What we're supposed to be doing is focusing on our own people too. But instead, like a lot of our people are just focusing on their people. And that's where we mess up too.
Exactly.
Well, I think.
Thank you, Oni.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it. I was just thanking Oni.
Yeah, MG2 or Tanzan. This is on one of y'all. Whichever one of y'all want to go first.
Go ahead, Tanzan.
Oh, okay. I would say too, I do agree with some of what Oni says. You're not supposed to get easily triggered. Somebody knows where to poke you and you'll be, hurt. So you're supposed to be at least a bit stoic on the matter. I don't know whether it would be a good idea if somebody calls you the N-word. There's no equivalent to calling them. So I don't know where that goes. But in any case, when it comes to we shouldn't worry about what they say, but we should worry about what our people represent. We're not worried about, those people calling us words and so on, but it's when one of us goes over there and, misrepresents us or makes it seem as if, oh, everybody's cool with it, don't worry, we can go in the hood and you'll be cool with everybody. And then they bring this, this guy around everybody else. And so that's the thing. If they're going to just do it in their own private spaces, fine, whatever. But don't let one of us be back there, cheering them on and dancing the jig and that stuff. That's the sort of thing that we should shun. People, if you want to go over there and make a fool of yourself, stay over there, but don't come back and trying to also earn our praise. And the second thing is, this whole thing about the word. I know that it has a negative connotation and so on. I don't know whether Chris Rock is a weird guy because he has used it several times, and Black Americans were comfortable with it. So if you're comfortable with somebody using it both in front of you and in front of other people, then you can't really complain if that's really claiming it, unless that they're more concerned about claiming it than controlling it. So this is what we get. We can't complain. So that's it for me for now.
I want to bring something to the table concerning Chris Rock and any other so-called quote-unquote entertainer. Their job is to entertain, and that's as far as they'll get. They're entertainers. If we were to roll back, and I think, Brother Forecast, I think you remember this, it was back in like 1398 or something like that in England, and it was they brought in a slave, and it might have been 1398. You might have been it was either England or France. And they brought in an African slave and they put one of those jester hats on him. And, the one with the little ball on it and it's a little triangle hat. He was there to entertain his oppressor.
Hey,
now,
didn't he,
if you fast,
isn't he the first one? Wasn't he the first one that came up with the moonwalk?
I think so. But I think it was like around 1398. It might have been Austria or before modern day Prussia or whatnot. I mean, it might have been that. You know better than me. But when I time traveled back there, it was an African slave. He went over there making jokes about, OJ and whatever. That ain't no different than now. Chris Rock and every Negro that's out there are entertainers. They're not leaders. They don't have their own destiny and control, much less they can never tell you what to do. They're there to entertain and make their enemy comfortable so they could get some peanuts, and they could get a little bit of extra whatever, bones and whatever. I'm not mad at him. I love him because he's black. He might be an idiot, but I still love him because he's an African. He's black. Like I love Africans. The thing that I have to say is, unfortunately, like I've always been saying this for years, every other species, I don't call them people because they're not us, because they're not people, we're the only ones. Every other species knows where to put their priorities. In the military box, they put the things that are in terms of military. The entertainment box, they make sure they put their entertainers, the Jerry Seinfelds, and every other Peckerwood in that box. And in their education box, they know they'll put the hook-nosed big leaders like Einstein and everything else in that box. It just seems that the African puts the entertainer in every box. Oh, if it has to do with the military, okay, we're gonna put an entertainer. I don't care, he's a rapper, he's whatever. Oh, okay, it has to do with science, put a rapper, put a football player in there. It's a matter of priorities, and that's why I always say about a frame of reference. And I think, and I'm not going to disparage us, I'm going to say that it's possible. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it's possible that because of the fact that we've been, quote unquote, mentally as well as physically colonized, not saying it's, solely, it's not like, oh, it's our fault. We do have a hand in it, unfortunately. But because we have been so physically and psychologically colonized for so many centuries, I might be wrong, but I think there's a skewing of a sense of priority, of where we put the priorities for our destiny. It's about controlling all aspects of our destiny. The things that we talk to each other on, whether they're cell phones or computers, should be made by us. The satellites that are in the sky should be made by us. The data should be owned by us. The medical care should be owned by us. The water system should be owned by us. Manufacturing of transportation should be owned by us. But it isn't. And I understand that at this stage of the game, unfortunately. The thing is that's part and parcel of our colonization. The thing is with this Chris Rock thing is, I expect my enemy to disparage me. Okay, my enemy is not looking for me to respect him, even though I do. I respect what they do because the thing is, if I don't, then I'm gonna have some problems. I respect the rhinoceros if I get in the same pen with it because I know what it's capable of doing. So I have to respect. Hey, that thing has the capability of shredding me up. So. But that rhinoceros is like, I don't care if you respect me or not. I'm going to do what I got to do to survive. A rhinoceros, that animal is no different than the animal that has plagued African existence for the last 2,000 seasons. Ain't no different than the animals that are out there that are shooting us in the street, pulling us over, charging us too much, beating us up in weed stores. It doesn't matter. The thing is it's up to us, okay, I'm not looking for their respect. And that's the last thing, because if I'm looking for their respect and I don't get it, then I'm in their hands. The thing is they're going to know that they have to respect what I have to do because of what I have to do when they're in my way. That is the concept I'm trying to get into the African mindset. What they do, Brother Forecast, I could care less. What they say, I could care less. It means nothing to me because they're my enemy and they're going to do and say whatever they have to do as my enemy. It's up to me to make sure that I respond in kind, to make sure that my destiny is in control, and then I make it impossible for my enemy to have one. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, MD2. And I'm not gonna lie, it's me being childish because it pisses them off so much when you say something about OJ and they be like so mad, and it's just funny, And I know I gotta be more mature, but it's just funny.
They do get mad if you talk about OJ. That's why they don't want to get mad at me because I ain't gonna say them. I'm gonna be honest, man. Shit. MG2 say he wished the glove had fit. That way one of us would have had some of that blood. He ain't one of me. I'm just being honest with you. No. OJ, Chris Rock. Folks who do that, he ain't black. He OJ. He made all that money, went and married some poor white woman, forgot about his black woman and his kids. Somebody that may have looked like he was one of us would have had some blood on their hands.
Let me ask you something, Brother Bakari. You there? How many crackers did you kill?
I don't ask me about killing nobody on YouTube.
And let me ask you something. How many crackers would you like to kill?
A whole lot of them.
I'm not going to ask you how many crackers you will kill because I don't want to get quote unquote black folks in trouble because they're still afraid of white folks. So I'll leave that question into the air. I know how many. I got my list. I'm not going to say OJ, whether he's one of ours or not, I don't care. The thing is, if he killed one more than I did at the present time. Until I get his record, I have nothing to say. Go ahead, Brother Bakari.
I got you. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I was just speaking my how I felt about and Chris Rock using the N-word. Chris Rock is the one who have black people going around talking about he love black people, but he hate N-words, right? So it was back to what when Tanzan said maybe that's them. You can't, ain't no power in that word. Ain't no power in that. We can't claim something. Why do we want to take that? It's amazing. This is the thing. Everybody living in this society, everybody gonna learn from one another, right? Everybody is gonna learn from one another, right? But it's amazing what we want to learn and take and claim is we want to learn and take and claim the N-word. But then we get mad. Oh, they claim the pyramids. We invented this and that. A black person invented this and they claim that. They invented this and they claim that. Invented this and they claim that. Well, shit, let's do some of the same shit. Oh my, but I'm gonna tell you, right? With all of that, back to this something I said last night, something me and my son had today. Anything, anything we do have a time stamp on it anyway. Unless white folks tell you it's okay. And white folks tell us it's okay to keep it. It's okay to keep the N-word. But anything else, man, the respect, somebody put it in the chat, K-Shaw 954 say, how about respect? Talking about it because of what they saying and how they say that, whatever. But how about we respect ourselves? We don't have the respect for ourselves. We don't respect. We'll talk about an ancestor, or we'll talk about an elder. But do you truly respect your ancestors and your elders? If you can see where your ancestors and elders fought to get rid of a word, or how they would die, how many times black men or black women you think that was the last word they heard, but we still figure out a way where we have to say it anyway. But then we would turn around and talk about respect the ancestors and respect for the elders, or we walk around with the shirt, I'm not my ancestors, you can get these hands. So the biggest, what I am saying is, right, when you look at most of the disrespect publicly that coming toward black people, it ain't even coming from nobody else. In all honesty, if we listen to us, it's coming from us. Well, I don't use that word, but I'm going to say us. But that's who it's coming from. And we feel, well, we can say it, but they can't. No. So if you can say it, don't ever say nothing about how you respect your ancestors, how you respect the work that your elders put in for you, people that died for you. Because how many times, you understand what I'm saying? But we'll hold on to something to disrespect them. And that's a fact for me anyway. Like I said, there was a whooping in my house. And if you wouldn't relate it to us and you came by the house and you said it, you had one warning. If you say that word again, get the hell out of my house. You say it again, get the hell out of my house. Don't come back until you understand not to use that word in my presence. In this house. That was my house growing up. All right? Get the hell out. You don't talk down on black women in here. Get out my house. That was my house growing up. But everybody didn't grow up like me. And I'm not, and everything for me that might be right, might not be right for everybody else. But to hold on to something and to hold on to certain things that's so disrespectful, I don't know. I hear the mic.
Now I want to say this though. I just realized, I just remember the fact there was some video showed up on YouTube recommends some videos. I don't know why they recommended this video. I don't know, but the music in the background was like you couldn't even call it music. Okay, just some black man. I almost want to play this song, but I can't. I'm not gonna play it right here, obviously. But I was wanted to refresh my memory. But it was like they use the N-word 5 times in a line. If you were real, whatever, just back and forth. And then this video was somebody dancing to this thing, whatever, right? But it was just I'll say it just for the rec. I don't know why this was in my YouTube shorts. It's a little bit I don't want to say. I mean, because YouTube don't really follow an algorithm. It just randomly puts in what other people search. I'll just say it. But it was some random white person dancing to this this video, this music. But the music was N-word, 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 and they're dancing to the rhythm of somebody just saying the N-word over and over again. And it's like, yeah, like who's really disrespecting our race? Who's really disrespecting our people on the broad scale? You know, I mean, sure, you could still say white folk are doing it. You know, you could, right? You know, just out of principle, say white folk doing it. But like the disrespect, like just hearing this music was like, damn, you know? Like, I mean, me personally, I'm no longer affected by it. You know, I just say that stupid shit, whatever. But like, yeah, it's a whole other, it's like a whole other game, you know? Because even like all of us here, you know, at least all the brothers here, like we know somebody called us the N-word, you know, and it was a black person. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let me say this before y'all say anything else. Because my brother, Time to Work brought up a good point, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with y'all, you know, and I don't want y'all to say or do anything, you know what I'm saying, if you don't feel comfortable or nothing, because there's a reason why like they don't take down my channel, like they blacklisted, and I know for sure they do it, you know what I'm saying? And like, yo, my first live I ever did, I had like 60, 70 people in there, and then, you know, just the way that it goes. But the only reason why they don't terminate my channel, they give me like one strike at a time. They'll go back to 2018 from a video that has nothing in it and say, you know, endangering children. But like they do these kind of things, you know what I'm saying? Because they are, you know, watching it and to see what we say. So like me personally, you know, I don't say like anything that's I think is important, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I have the right to say, you know, you will not kill us. You can't keep killing us. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm saying nothing no different than George Washington told America, and they put him on the side of a mountain. You know what I'm saying? I can say we can work together. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't even go at you know, other black people. You know what I'm saying, on this app. You know, intentionally, because that's the whole purpose. They want us to do this kind of stuff, and you know. Like as far as I go with Bakari, that's as far as I'll go, you know, because it'd be fun sometimes and entertaining, and we can learn when we talking. But you know, I do want everybody to be comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to, you know, whatever. I personally don't have nothing to lose, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have anything, you know, like what is it, you know what I'm saying? What else can they do to you though? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But all right, so anybody want to go on that before that? Because we only got one more thing, so y'all can take y'all time if y'all want. I'm good, you know. I don't know how much time y'all got.
I have a
Tanzania.
quick question, you know, with regards to the OJ thing, right? Do you think that black people were happy just because OJ got away with murder, or what do you think persuaded them to be on his side just because he was black?
Well, the glove didn't fit Tanzania, so alleged murder.
Yes, but do you know who won the case? And this is something I just thought about, that it wasn't so much that, you know, people loved OJ so much. The person that swayed people, that showed, you know, that black excellence and that, you know, admiration was, you know, the man himself, Johnny Cochran. Like that guy had charisma. He could talk, he could rhyme, you know, he was like a rhyming lawyer. He was like the Better Call Saul, but, you know, in black version. He's like a Don King, you know, the legalist Don King. So I would say that he's the one who actually swayed people. You know, OJ is not a very, he looks a bit, yeah, he's not. But anyway, I would just say that it was Johnny Cochran who won that case and who actually, you know, made black people more sympathetic to OJ Simpson. Because if it was just that, you know, skinny white lady and that, you know, square-faced Christopher Darden, I don't think that they would have been that much persuaded. But in any case, I think that sometimes we think that our people are just persuaded by the lawyers, but maybe they were just impressed by, you know, a black man, a lawyer who could speak, you know, to people and speak intelligently and speak defending another black man. So I know he had a bunch of other lawyers too, but yeah, everybody just remembers Johnny Cochran. So
Yeah, that's
peace
a
to
good
him.
that's a good point, Tanzan. You know, it could be like Johnny Cochran, and from what I understand, I don't know I'm not as in depth, but from what I understand, he has done some Black history stuff. But well, not Black history stuff, but Black Powerment stuff. But you know, he died from allegedly a brain aneurysm at a very young age after that.
I
So
know. Yeah, that
yeah,
was really tragic. Like he could have been, he could have been an example to so many, black men, instead of going to jail, go study law and actually have a defense. Because if your problem is that, you're always caught up in the law, you need somebody who is going to fight for you. And so that was a tragedy.
Tanzan, let me answer that question for you. It wasn't a sense that OJ won, because at that time, because in California, so I saw the whole thing from the ground up. It wasn't a sense of the fact that OJ won. It's like exactly what you said. It was the fact that black folks, for once, it was like that sense of validation. Like, we got one, we finally got one on the scoreboard, which is unfortunate. And I say, in hindsight, I could say it's unfortunate, because I remember the vibe. I remember everything that happened with Latasha Harlins. I remember what happened with Rodney King and the subsequent, everything that happened subsequently. That was literally a buildup, because I'll never forget being in Koreatown and, downtown in LA and, or close to downtown. And that sense of validation was like, we finally got one over on them. We again, it's that thing of wanting to explain to our enemy, like the brother that was in the car or the one at the office building. That was an OJ moment, because it was finally, we're going to prove something to you guys. And in hindsight, it's unfortunate that we were like that during OJ. Okay, unfortunate. And even if he won or didn't win, it was unfortunate that we had that feeling that we need to prove to someone else. Finally, we got one on the scoreboard. Because let me tell you something. It would take a few billion OJs to make up for the deaths of an entire species of people, and that's us. We're talking about the over 156 million that were killed in the Ma'afa they call the Atlantic slave trade. It wasn't 12 million, it was 156. You do your math and you'll get it right. You do your math and you'll figure out that the 12 million that made it was only 1/10, less than 1/10, was like 1/8 of the folks that they took off the continent. And that was just the Atlantic slave trade alone. I'm not even talking about the Eastern Arab slave trade or the Asian. So for every OJ, for us to be feeling that sense of validation, like finally we're gonna get that reparation, that is a testament that we will fall for anything. That we'll take the lowest price. We'll take the lowest. It's like the lowest. I want to say bidder, but it's like absolutely. Give it to me. I don't care because it's valueless. To me, OJ was valueless, and what I mean by that is that striving for us to try to we're finally valid in front of white. No, these things are not people to me. They're not even. They're not even. They're underneath my feet. It's like me throwing reverence to a camel feces. I'm not going to do that. The thing is in hindsight, and the reason I say hindsight, it was that sense that I remember that all over LA and all over, even up to Seattle, where black folks were feeling like, we're going to get somewhere with this. No, for every OJ, there was an entire ship of Africans that were being scuttled in the bottom of the Atlantic so some Jew can make some money on insurance companies. And we're talking OJ is probably worth, what he did was probably tantamount to 1,000 of those ships. If you do your research on Kebuka, which was written by Mwalimu Kebaruti, you'll know exactly the damage that was done for us. But the thing like I said, what hurts me, or I shouldn't say hurts me, what really gets me kind of like thinking, questioning our intelligence, is to think that an OJ can equate to the death and to the hell that we've been ever since we encountered these other species, these non-humans. To even equate that to me is, I have to question our intelligence. So I'll go ahead and pass the mic.
All right. Well, Bakari fell off, so all right, we'll go to the last thing. All right. Now, I want to show this because I'm gonna say this is positive. We're gonna go out with something positive. Now, Nigeria has banned the use of foreign models for advertisement. So let me play y'all this.
Advertising law in Nigeria, TV commercials using foreign models and voiceover artists will not be allowed on local television in the country from October this year. And Olale Konfadolapo, the man who heads the body regulating advertising in Nigeria, is defending the new law.
We have over 200 million faces or models in Nigeria. Each and every one of us, naturally, we are models. Even if we have not chosen that, we have over 200 voices in our country. Are you saying none of those voices is good enough to market a product? That we need to import voice from other countries to market, develop communications that we sell to the Nigerians.
The new law has been welcomed by Nigerian voiceover artists. They say it will boost their industry and create more opportunities while protecting local talents.
for me and for the association as a whole, it's a welcome development that at last the government is beginning to listen to us and doing the things and going in the right direction. So this now, what it's going to happen, that there'll be a thrust up of talent. So before now, they didn't have a platform to express themselves. So it's going to provide a lot of platforms now.
First of all, and most importantly, it stops capital flight. And what this means is more money, or the bulk of it, stays here. And once that is in circulation, then you have all sorts of talent to spring up. So it's like a catalyst that will boom the local industry.
As of 2020, the size of Nigeria's advertising industry to its GDP was a meager 1% compared to about 7% of South Africa, which has a lower GDP. Advertising practitioners believe the new law will be a game changer for Nigeria's advertising industry.
Now, if you look at it, where are the linkages? Because we have a bigger GDP and a smaller advertising industry compared to South Africa with a smaller GDP, but a larger chunk of that is going into the advertising. It's because of the leakages are coming from some of these things that the federal government apparently is trying to block. So this is a law that will have a far-reaching effect in terms of being able to create jobs and empower the local suppliers.
All right, so y'all see that, but let me play because listen, I know Bakari. I don't know if he came back. Let me see. Because Bakari, let me see if Bakari is back on here. Yeah, I guess Bakari, black people can be racist. There goes some black people being racist, Bakari. Now listen, I'm gonna play this, right? But I know that y'all use these kind of topics for other things that I don't even got nothing to do with, and I think it's crazy to keep having those kind of arguments. So I'm not even meaning it to go that way, but y'all can say whatever y'all want because this is an open topic thing. But let me just play the reaction to Nigeria, as he said, banning white models.
Nigeria bans white models. Imagine that headline was, Italy bans black models. That would be considered racist, right? But what do you guys think about Nigeria banning white people? Probably perfectly okay, right? The shout out to all the losers who keep saying, they didn't ban white people in Nigeria. They just made it so only Nigerians can be actors or models or etc. Okay, let's analyze this. How many white people are in Nigeria? Less than 0.3% of the population. A white person born in Nigeria is not a citizen. That's right. You could be born there and you're not a citizen. The only way you can gain citizenship is if you're a white woman who marries a Nigerian man. So once again, Nigeria has banned white people from being actors or models or anything.
Now, it may be a lot of Nigerians, white women citizens. No, I'm joking, y'all. I'm sorry. I think this dude was mad too.
So the country.
All right, forget it. All right, so y'all see that, and listen, like I said, man, that wasn't to be used for evil and stuff, and I know some people will use it for evil, some will not, but I think that's an interesting thing. But I want to hear what y'all got to say about it. It ain't been no order, so y'all could just jump in. It ain't no more.
I'll be glad when they ban those from their movies. The more Nollywood movies are watched, the more and more you're starting to see them with them Nigerian women with damn white and Arab men and a lot of them. I'd be glad when they ban it out the movies.
You know what I'd like to see them ban? Because again, black folk, I'm trying to get it through your head. Even Hard Code, because he's been trying to troll me all night. First off, Hard Code, read a book and you'll figure out where I got my math. And one of the books is called Kebuka. The other's Africans in the Slave Trade, Dr. John Henry Clark. The other's Tony Martin. It wasn't in Tony Martin's book, Race First. But if you read a book, Hard Code, you'll figure out where the math of the enslavement happened. But again, you got to read. One of the things that I'm trying to get through our heads, including the trolls, is I really don't give a shit about, excuse my language, about what they think about what we're doing. You know why I'd like to see Nigeria ban? I'd like them to ban a mining company like what's the one that, oh gosh, not Freeport, Freeport McMoran, there's the other one. The mining company. I would like to see Nigeria ban Shell and Exxon and Chevron. I'd like to see them ban, and I would love to see what's the chocolate company that the Belgians are coming into West Africa taking everything. See, that's what we need to ban, because Italy doesn't need to ban African models. They ban Africans. They just call them immigrants and let them drown over there in the Mediterranean, over in the Channel, trying to get to Italy. Because a lot of Africans, I don't know if and especially hard cold, you might want to do this. Go ahead and read a newspaper once in a while, and you figure it out that Africans are dying, Black folks are dying trying to get to Europe, and Italy has banned. Matter of fact, you've got the ETA, you've got the Golden Dawn, you've got the EDL, you've got what's the one out of France that Eric Zemmour is part of, and I can't remember. National Front. You've got these that are in. That's part of that 38,000, but it's a European version of 38,000 Oath Keepers that are making sure Africans die as they're trying to get to Europe. Why? It's unfortunate that they do that, but see, they don't have to ban African models. They just ban Africans. We call them, Nigerians and Somalians and others that are dying in the Mediterranean as I'm talking to you. They call immigrants or whatever. And I would like to see, if Nigeria really wants to ban, I would like to see Ghana ban the gold, damn it, what's the name? It's an Australian miner, and I can't remember because I have to trade this market. I'd like to see them ban. There's a one that they're looking for lithium reserves right now, because they pretty much are expending all the coltan they can get out of Congo and or DRC, and where's that other one? Man, it's just driving me nuts. I would like to see them ban the manganese that they're taking and mining, and what they just did to Mozambique. See, if we're really going to ban and look at, because in other words, I commend Nigeria for making a first step into something that's very smart. I hope Kenya does the same thing, but I would like to see them extend bans into mining resources, technological resources. I would like to see them ban everything from chocolate to palm oil, so no European or Asian country can go in and exploit. Matter of fact, where you have Kenya and Tanzania that are literally, letting them kill every animal that they could get, I would like to see them ban any African, like the what's that little animal that damn near extinct in Madagascar, or what they did to the northern white rhino or the black rhino. I would like to see that being banned as well. Ban any Asian from coming in to go ahead and shoot, or any peckerwood to shoot any animal that they see just so they could have a trophy. I would like to see that kind of ban. So Nigeria, kudos to you for at least making a small step, and a very small step like that of an infant trying to walk around the planet. That's how small of a step this ban is. But I wish you would extend it to banning all the things that they've been exploiting Africans with. I'll pass the mic.
Anybody else want to jump in?
Who wants to go after that powerful speech? But yeah, I agree with what MG2 says. I've heard of this, ban on models for a while, and I asked the question, like, why were they even allowed in the first place? You have a nation of, nearly 99% is called Nigeria, for God's sake. Why would you even have, other people's models on your face? And that's different from, us in Kenya. All you see is on the advertisements is Kenyan faces. Even though that is a form of using our own people to sell their products, but we don't have white models in Kenyan television. I didn't even know that this was a thing until, I had this story. So yeah, it's just undoing the shame. It's nothing big, but it's just undoing the shame. And also, what is also lacking is why they did it. Yeah, they said, oh, it's for the market and all that, but they should do something, with pride and culture, and said, look, we're proud of our people. We think our people are the best, and we shouldn't even have been having these people in the first place. But we love our beauty people, and so on. That should have been the thing. Not there doesn't seem to be much vision behind it. Just, oh, we're banning these foreign models, and it's purely for money reasons. Oh, let's give a few of our people some more money. It's a very hollow gesture. If it was accompanied by, firstly, if it was a campaign that had been in the works, there were people who are clamoring for it, but it just seems like it fell out of nowhere, like, oh, we're doing this, we didn't even know that there was a call for it, but there it was. So it's a good thing, but at the same time, Nigeria has a lot of worse problems than the media entertainment. They have from I won't even start, but they have enough of their problems without making this the big headlines. It would be nice if they had some sort of sovereignty and a power play rather than just this. This is something that should have been done a long time ago, and you don't take any credit for finally chasing the thief out of your house when you gave them the keys to enter anyway. So yeah, good step, but just a little bit too little, a bit late and too little in my opinion. But yeah, right direction.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, you saying you were gonna end on Nigeria, I was like, oh shit, what they do now? But this is, this is interesting. It's not, it's bad. Like usually when people say Nigeria, you like, oh shit, you got racist self. But this was good. This was nice. My only qualm is, that they specified Nigerian. I like that, but I also don't like that in the sense that, like, what about if you Ghanaian or something, But I mean, I perfectly respect that. I perfectly respect though if you still like, if that's what it takes, to secure yourself from these crackers or whatever, right? All the same, yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's different, shifted the tone. I was getting ready because I was like, shoot, after all that shit going on in America, I was like, let me see what Nigeria, because Nigeria got some fucked up shit going on.
Now they should start banning bleaching.
You said what?
Bleaching. Ban that whole bleaching.
I'm talking about the beheadings and the shooting up schools and shit, like shooting up voting booths and stuff. Yeah, those are like
the black on black crime to y'all. Y'all got that covered.
I'll just say, I was like, shit, this is but this right here, this is nice. This is nice. What else could I say about that? Oh yeah, so it's I don't really watch Nollywood that much. I don't really watch movies, even like television like that. But I could say that, yeah, like having white folk in it should be like this is a step forward. I hope that Nigeria expands its image in that way, but like Nigeria has, like a whole bunch of problems. And I would just say for the people listening or people who are interested in like Nigeria changing, I don't really know much about this candidate, but I know a lot of people are hyped for him. I think it's Peter Obi or something like that. But like definitely what I want to say is that, when I was talking about how white folk different from black folk in the sense that why white folk in charge, right? There was this white woman randomly comes to my door, okay, is only here. And I'm just like, what? I don't know no crackers, but whatever. So come to find out, because I voted once upon a time, she's like, you want to voter registration and I want you to recommend this candidate, so on and so forth. What I'm saying is that these white folk are actively going around the world canvassing for going around to different neighborhoods, because she wasn't from my neighborhood, right? She's going in my neighborhood telling me, like, ringing on my doorbell, trying to get me to vote for her candidate. You know what I'm saying? And her candidate was a black man. But like my point is that these other people are actively going around pushing their candidates, pushing their political agenda. So there's just a lot. And she's not. I was asking her, like, what organization you a part of? She said she's not even a part of an organization. She's just canvassing for this dude because he was like a socialist or some shit, right? But it's like that's the big difference, Now, I mean, obviously, when I say that, that's the big difference. I'm not talking about everybody because Brother Bakari got that in his family history. You know what I'm saying? But beyond like the exceptions, what the rule is that a lot of us are not going door to door. I don't canvass myself. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that when we like if you're talking about if you really want to make a change where you're at and you are relying on the political system, because we know everybody is relying on the political system anyway. Quite a few videos are related to, us engaging with the legal system or us engaging with this judicial system, right? That said, if that's what you're doing, and then you might as well get yourself out there, because when we talk about Nigeria, we're talking about like we're talking, like Forecast was saying that we might show the crimes. Yeah, there's like some crimes going on. I'm saying, like, there's some crimes going on, and if you don't recognize that it's on a governmental level And I'm not saying that voting works or doesn't work, but there's a big difference between a person who is going to go door to door and canvas and a person who's going to just wait and see, who's going to be the leader next time, because even like when we talk about the Oath Keepers, I guess those are the people that marched on the Capitol, I'm guessing, I don't know. But when we talk about the people who marched on the capital of America or their capital or whatever, right? The person, like when we talk about that, we realize that these are people who are who might have some, who might complain about the government. That's fine. But then there are also people who are willing to change their government. And that's a different set of people, but that's all I can say. I mean, I think this is good news coming from the government. But I think it's been there, like, not to quote Chris Rock, but Chris Rock was like, he had his routine, that same routine where he's like, there are black people and there are N-words and N-words got to go, right? That same routine, he was like, there's black men talking about how they take care of their children. He's like, you're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So like Nigeria looking out for the citizens, like you supposed to, that's your one job, you know what I'm saying? Props for it, but I mean, like, what were you doing before that then? You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say.
All right, and let me say this before Bakari go, because I'm glad you mentioned some of the things that you did, and I agree with a lot of the stuff that you're saying now. Like with this thing, Bakari, I think that is a step in the right direction, and some will use it for evil, you know what I'm saying? I'll get into it, but only mention it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like how it's just Nigeria, you know what I'm saying? But some people will be like, yo, it's kind of the same lane. Now, I don't get into that argument because to me it's like, it's no different. We could be arguing about something next time, but it is what it is. We can argue all we want. But on another note too, though, Bakari, I will say this: like, what do you know? There are some black people being racist. But yeah, Bakari, you got something to say? I guess Bakari wasn't even there. So, all right. So, if Bakari come back, you can say something. But all right, y'all. So that was the last one I wanted to show. Now there is another one that it has nothing to do with this. It was gonna go to something else, and I low key wish learning curve was on for that one. But if y'all want to show it or y'all want to close it, y'all let me know. You want me to show it? It's only 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You want me to show it or y'all want to close out?
You can show it.
Yeah, please show it.
Okay, yeah. So this has nothing to do with the topic, but I thought it was definitely interesting because especially when it comes to the biracial thing. So all right.
Get into it. Not saying that behind every black person's business there's a white person lurking. How come with mixed children, and specifically when it's a white woman that has mixed children, there's always a black woman trying to tell us how to parent our child? Mind your business. We got this. Well, that is.
All right. So I did want to show that because there's been this thing because you know what? I guess white girls can have black children, but she's telling y'all as black women to stop telling her what to do with her little biracial black daughter, But yeah, that's the one I wanted to show. I was interested in yeah, go ahead, Oni.
Yeah, wait, what did she say? I didn't even catch what she said. Like,
okay, I'm gonna play.
What was that accent? Like, what was she saying?
Okay, y'all couldn't hear that.
No, I didn't catch it. It was real quick. Plus, like, I guess I just tune out white folk. I don't know. I don't know what she was saying. What did she say?
I'm gonna play it again. All right. All right, here it is.
That behind every black person's business, there's a to it. Not saying that behind every black person's business, there's a white person lurking. How come with mixed children, and specifically when it's a white woman that has mixed children, there's always a black woman trying to tell us how to parent our child?
You hear what she's saying, Oni?
I thought she was talking about black businesses, but she's saying behind every black business is a white person lurking. Is that what she said?
Yeah, she's saying behind, like, it's always black people in her business, and this black woman keep trying to tell her what to do with her black
Yeah.
child.
No, I mean, look, I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to sound like I'm siding with no cracker, but you know, like I don't like that's like, I mean, if like that's her, like, you know what I mean, like that's her kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is that like no parent, I can say this though, because real talk, black people do be getting in your business like a mofo. So I mean, it is what it is. Like, I remember, like, so I'll say this: I got my son, right? And all right, so I it was a joke I was gonna play on my podcast, but I didn't. But it's like I got this son, and you know, like when you carrying all the bags, nobody gives a shit, right? But when you have your son carrying all the bags, you know. But yeah, so one time I had my son carrying all the bags while I was just walking, looking like a motherfucker, right? And yeah, black folk was like, black women were yelling at me like, fucking take the bags from him. He's fucking struggling, you know. Of course, I'm just trying to teach the boys some strength or whatever, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like, but no parent is like, realistically, no parent is gonna be like, yes, ma'am. You know, like, yes, you're the boss. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like, yeah, people are a lot of black folk nosy, absolutely, but like, yeah, I mean, like this. First off, if it's a mulatto kid, like, leave them alone. Like, black folk need to learn to just leave mulattoes alone. I mean, it's different.
I don't mean to cut you off. You know, mulattoes are black, right?
Gee, that's what I'm saying. It's different. like it's different if these mulattoes are like coming around you, right? And then it's like, okay, maybe you could, like, you know, like, it depends, right? But you talking about somebody with their white mother, and you trying to be like, well, you gotta, yeah, like, what are you fucking doing? They're like with it, like, it's different if it's a mulatto. Like, I remember this one biracial kid, in my school. He said he hated his mother, you know, because his mother like left him, abandoned him, you know, like, that's a good energy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, you know, you don't go to the cookout or nothing, but like if you are not attached to your white family, then that's it. But you talking about a mulatto kid with their white parent, leave them the fuck alone. You know, just like, it's really not complicated. Just leave them alone. What are you going to get from trying to get between a son or a daughter and their mother? You know what I mean? Like, if they get it, like, and how are you going to get between them by going through their mother? Like, that's stupid. You know, it's one thing if you like pull this kid aside and be like, yo, your mom's a bitch or whatever. But to go to the mother and be like, yo, your kid needs to, like, shut the fuck up. And like, who the fuck, like, in the, like, I like black folk in a, like, I'm not gonna say just in America, but I'll say, you know, just for the sake of this conversation, black folk in America, like, this overstepping, like, you gotta run shit before you start bossing people. And it just don't even make any sense. Like who, what are you fucking talking about? Like, the kid, like, you're gonna talk to, like, hey, you know, you gotta braid your kids. Like, shut the fuck up. Leave them alone. Like, leave them alone. Like, because I mean, I personally don't like when people are telling me what to do with my son. Because the reality is this: when you, because like when you're, before you have a kid, you know, because I know Forecast said he didn't have no kid yet, but like before you have a kid, you know, you might have all these, you know, people have all these ideas, but like when you have a kid, you gotta realize you there feeding them, clothing them, sheltering them every damn day. The people on the streets who see you making them carry the bags, they not doing shit for your kid ever. Like, ever. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta, you know, shower this kid every day, gotta make sure he has, you know, wipes or toilet paper, or I gotta feed him every day. I gotta so on and so forth. Then somebody just comes along and tells me, oh, well, you gotta do X, Y, Z. Shut the fuck up. You know, until you do, like, if you're not doing shit, then shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that there's a limit to that, obviously, you know, as long as you're not abusing the kid, like real abuse, or you're not, you know, depriving the kid, like real deprivation, then, you know, there is that. But like, you know, well, you gotta teach your kid about, you know, if you gotta learn how to twist your kid. Like, shut the fuck up. I'll do the fuck I want. It's my kid. And unfortunately that don't sound right to a lot of people who don't have kids, but that's the thing, that like when you're in that position, when you do have kids, when you are making daily sacrifices for another human being, you know, like when you are in that position where you are actually actively engaged, like that's going to be your attitude. And if it's not your attitude, that's all well and good, but that's the attitude of a lot of other people. You know, it's not the best attitude, but that's partly why, you know, we even have difficulty with it reaching a lot of these other people, because, you know, their parents are like, you know, like they don't get the assistance that they need. And you have to, if you're not assisting other people, they don't even care to listen to you. You know, this white woman, I mean, I'm not siding with this white woman, but like I said, like me personally, I don't give a shit about no mixed kid. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know what I mean? If the kid is, you know, like maybe just maybe, if a kid's going, like if a mixed kid or a cracker's going into harm's way, I might have some, you know, like a small reaction. But the same way I might have the, you know, like you know, to bite off of MG2, same way I might have a reaction if like a dog runs into the street. I might have some sort of faint reaction somewhere. But like realistically, I don't give a shit about their kids. You know, I'm not supposed to. And that's all it is. So, you know, like people, like we have to just learn, like I mean, like the cracker was saying, you gotta learn to mind your damn business. This little mixed kid is not your business. Remotely. You're like, right, remotely. Like maybe it's the business of the father, but he done fucked up. You know, he done fucked down, really. You know what I'm saying? So that it is what it is.
Yeah,
Brother
like,
Forecast.
yeah.
I don't know if you remember, it happened a while back, and it was over in Kenya. It might have been in the Athi Plains, or it might have been in the Chilulu Hills. I think it's called Chilulu Hills or Amboseli. But it happened. I think that's southern Kenya. And once upon a time, there was this elephant, and this elephant had to get his freak on. He wasn't really thinking about elephant life, but he ran into these giraffes. Because I'm almost sure that it's either I think it's called Athi Plains. It's like southern Kenya, or Chilulu. I'm saying it wrong. Chilulu Hills or Amboseli. I can't remember, but this elephant ran into these giraffes, and he's like, you know, he wasn't looking at any of the other female elephants. He was looking at those giraffes, saying, "Man, I'd like to hit one of those." And so the elephant went ahead and decided, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna get my freak on." And he didn't know 9 months later that the giraffe might have gotten pregnant. And so the giraffe got pregnant and gave birth to what's called a giraffe infant. It wasn't an elephant, it wasn't a giraffe, it was a giraffe infant. And so the thing is, you know, the elephant, you know, he's a male elephant. He went about his way saying, "Hey, you know, I'll go ahead and, you know, do what I got to do because I'm getting my freak on. I'm a male elephant. I'm in musk, whatever." But the thing is that giraffe infant was neither giraffe nor elephant, but probably a combination. But it was not a giraffe, neither was it an elephant. So what happened is a few of the maternal elephants started looking at this creature saying, "Damn, you know, it's got a long neck, it's got a trunk, it's kind of big and fat, and it's got all these spots, but it's not one of us." And then some of the maternal giraffes were coming out saying, "Well, you know, well, we'll take it in or whatever, but you know, it is a giraffe infant, but we'll still call it whatever we want to call it." You know, again, it's about frame of reference. So one of the female elephants came up and started saying, "Hey, you know that thing's going to want to pick leaves off the tree, you know, using its trunk, and you know it's gonna want to go ahead and it's gonna use its tusk." And the giraffes were like, "No, it's got a long neck, it doesn't need tusks, even though it might have some small ones that don't." And so they've gotten to this conversation about this giraffe infant and how it should be raised. The female elephant was like, "You got to do this with it, you know, it likes water, it likes to do this." And so what happened is a hunter came through, and this hunter was an elephant hunter. It didn't give a crap about giraffes, okay? And what had happened is the giraffes said, "Well, you know, we can't lose this creature because, you know, it's kind of special to us, whatnot, and we're going to let it identify with us." And so the elephants, all the other elephants knew, "Hey, we got to get the hell out of here because this hunter's coming." And, you know, this, I think it was on the Athi Plain. I think that's like southern Kenya. And what had happened is all of a sudden, you know, this other elephant sitting around going, "I'm gonna stick by and show this giraffe how to raise this. You know, this is an elephant. It's not a giraffe. It's an elephant. I'm gonna tell you how to raise it, It likes to get its hair curled, and it likes to go ahead and eat black-eyed peas every New Year's Eve. But it wasn't cognizant of these Chinese hunters that wanted some tusks. And the elephant stood there trying to prove its point to this maternal giraffe how to raise a giraffe fin. And the other elephants were leaving, and it said, look, we question your intelligence. In times of your own peril, you're going to spend time going ahead and proving a point to something that's not even your species, that's raising something that clearly is not your species, neither it is a species of the other, yet you're going to put your life in peril, being hunted, trying to prove your frame of reference to something that's not even your species, and that's a giraffe. And a few weeks later, you saw a Chinese man in his house in this little peckerwood, and they had these big elephant tusks and this big elephant head in their living room. If we spend our time trying to go ahead and prove a point, especially to another species, we're going to miss the fact that we're being hunted, even if it's in Kenya, or even if it's sisters trying to prove to a Becky how to raise its giraffe fin. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. Hey, Tanzania, you wanted to say something?
Well, I think Oni stole all my points. I say that, leave them alone. And this thing, Truth 884 talks about, black women offering to take. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If you're getting paid, yeah, I understand. And this is the same thing with the, this whole validation of black women wanting to be liked by white women. Forget that. What are you doing for that? You're offering, to do their hair. Then next thing you're offering to hang out with them, offering, your brother and your sons and your daughters, and you're being around them. You're the one who's creating this kind of environment, and then you cry and oh, why aren't we being chosen? Why is she here with Becky and all that? Because you let her in. This is the kind of crap that black women do, and then they complain afterwards. Yeah. So that's all I'll say for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say something about Bakari. Are you there? All right, Bakari might have been.
Yeah, but I'm listening. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, that was the last thing. I don't know if you wanted to say something, but and then before we close out though, let me say this though. And only because earlier you mentioned when I showed Nigeria, you thought I was gonna show like some, and I'm not gonna show like that of black people negative here in America or there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show the positive things when I get a chance of black people here in America and there and wherever we are in the world, whether it be Africa, the Caribbeans and stuff like that. But I'm gonna also show the coons, you know what I'm saying, and certain things that we do, whether they are from America or not, because this is a global thing that we have mentally that's messing us up. I don't know if y'all see, like, I know we always talk about the differences, but the similarities is too striking that you let other people come in and control your thing. But just like, I showed the Chinese dude who came in and punked the whole group of African brothers, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing is happening all over the world. And then we finding issues to fight within ourselves over each other, you know what I'm saying? And that with that particular video, and that's why I kind of want to learn a curve on there, because people get uncomfortable when she talk about the mulatto, but and it is black people on there explaining themselves, and I ain't even show that, that and foreign and like from other places from America, it don't matter, explaining why they should come in and help intervene with this biracial child, because you know what, this child is black and we always have to accept other people, and this is a whole nother topic, but the child, I don't think that white women, white bitches can have black children, that's my opinion, and oftentimes, like Truth 884, they go into because I want to show y'all the comments, but I'm not. But they talking about how they go into these stores and black women be minding their own business, and white women just ask them, or white bitches ask them about the products they get, what products they should get, how should I do their hair, and all of this stuff. And there's a growing trend of black women who is saying that's not our problem. Black children with white women is not their problem. And I can see how it could cause a divide, but you can't be on one side saying that, but then on the other saying, black children with black mothers and white fathers is not my problem. All of it is not our problem, or some of it is, and I think that we let our spooked out ism, our tribalism, our whatever isms, our the ways that we got manipulated, skew our judgment, and we'll be quicker to argue with our brothers, you know what I'm saying, than to form 38,000 people who's down, because it's way more than 38,000 Europeans in America, and it's probably like both of y'all said, a lot more in the gang, but they aren't worried about the millions that's not in their gang. They're worried about the 38,000 that's down, and the people that's going to join their Twitch stream, when they go into a grocery store and shoot up a bunch of people, and they know that the people that they kill will forgive them, because God is a two-sided guy, and he'll forgive them, and go probably hug them along with the judge if they're black, and we got to think about the victim's family, just like we was watching before, but a lot of y'all would probably be like, justice for Nicole Simpson. So, but yeah, so y'all want to close out. I'm gonna go with Oni. I'm trying to go with who came on first. So Oni, MD2, Bakari, Tanzan.
Oh no, that's all I would say. I mean, we have to have we have to, as a collectively, have a clear agenda, clear plan, but the reality is that we don't. I mean, you did start off with the OJ Simpson thing, but I think the Oath Taker story was also really important, in the sense of these white folk got the Oath Taker, like they have their clear political agenda, let's say. You know what I mean? So in the same situation of seeing a mixed kid, white folk know to mind their damn business. You know what I'm saying? White folk ain't going to mixed kids talking about, and I mean like directly or exceptionally. You know what I mean? They're not going to mixed kids talking about, well, you're a white American, right? You're a European and you come from good European style. Like, real talk, one thing about white folk, a lot of us were taught not to like this. But like, one thing is that they see a mixed kid and they say, that's not one of ours. That person's black. You know what I'm saying? One drop of black blood, that person's black. They say, oh, you a quadroon, you are a full N-word. Okay? That's the big difference. And so that's that. When you're talking about the Oath Taker, when you're talking about like a people with a political agenda, a political plan on a wide basis, right? That's white folk. And I mean, you don't like them. You don't really gotta respect them per se, but you gotta peep game. And the trouble with us is that we look at them, we look at the game, and then we say, we gotta be better than that. Like, how are you gonna be better than the motherfucker winning? How you gonna be better than Ronaldo? Like Ronaldo, I don't know sports like that, but like, I'm guessing this Ronaldo guy is a good soccer player. I don't know, but like, how you gonna look at him in his action, then you're gonna be like, oh, we gotta be better than that, And like, yeah, I mean, if you mean you want to be, and by better, you're not saying do the same thing he doing, right? But take the best of what he has. When you say be better, you're like, you got to be completely different from this motherfucker. You got to take in all the children. You got to take in the quadroon. He says the quadroons and N-word, they're not looking to see. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, there's one thing if you got like mixture by accident. You shake the family tree, some mulatto shake out. That's what's one thing. But if you're talking about this person is with their damn white mother, right? White people understand, oh, that's not one of ours. But somehow black people are like, that's one of ours. Well, white man said it's not one of his, so it gotta be one of ours. Like, no, motherfucker, that's just nobody's people. And that's all you gotta, that's all you have to process. Be like, you know what? Let me pay attention to me and mine. The kid looks jacked up. Good for that fucking kid. That's it's their mother's right. If the mother wants to ask you questions, tell her to pay you. You know what I'm saying? Or just say, I don't got no fucking answers for you. I never dealt with no mixed people's hair. And just go on about your business. That's all it is. Like people need to like at the end of the day, there's like, and that's the thing. I want to just highlight that, the old keepers, they know what they about. They might be squaring up with each other and they might not know how to fight. They might not know how to shoot. They might not be good at anything, but they know they're not wasting their time talking about, oh, I gotta fix this kid's hair because they're half white. That's the big difference. That's it. Oh, and appreciate that you let me speak on the show, brother.
Yeah, hey, Oni, and the pro black perspective, I put his channel in the chat. When is your next show, my brother? Let him know.
Oh yeah, I'm always on a Sunday. I call it Sunday African worship, because everybody's doing worship, so I'm gonna do some worship. But that's it. Just Sunday. I'm gonna do Energy Within. I'm unfortunately I'm doing what you said. I'm highlighting all the coons and shit. The coons and the criminals. Well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. Because I think that when we're talking about black nationalism, you got to know that there's some. They say that the enemy without can't hurt you unless there's some enemies within. And so, I'm perfectly like I at least want us to be aware of the reality that there's people within, among us. So I appreciate you for letting me speak and also letting me promote that channel. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, definitely. And we definitely are super aware of, of the enemies within, we make it clear all the time, MD2.
Yeah, first off, brother Forecast, I always appreciate everything you do. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head so many times, man. The thing has turned into the molten lava. And definitely appreciate the chat, including Hard Cold. I like when I'm being trolled. One of the things I would like to say what black folks need to do, what we have to do, what we've got to, but that usually a bus pass and a bucket of chicken and some now and laters will probably maybe get you across the street. But I'd like to just say, ask yourself some questions. That's all I impart, is just indulge yours truly and ask yourself some questions. What is really important? When it comes down to Oath Keepers and 38,000 individuals, ask yourself some questions. Is there an advantage that somebody who is not of your ethnicity has in terms of if things hit the fan, and you know what I'm talking about, if the SH, hits the fan, will they have an advantage over you in terms of making sure that their survival is not questionable? Will they have the advantage over you in making your survival questionable? Should something, a cataclysm, anarchy, or whatever? Just ask yourself that question. It's not like you got to do it, or we got to you, or what black folk have to do. Like I said, I've seen that for 45 years, and again, that and now and later's didn't got you nowhere. I would just say ask yourself that question as an individual as well as those that are around you, your collective, your team, your club, your group, your village, your homies, your gang, whatever you want to call yourselves. Ask, if somebody else got more of an advantage, whether it's 38,000 of them, 38 of them, or 38 million, clearly that 38,000, there's a 38 million that definitely have an advantage because they control everything that we're doing right now, including talking to each other on devices that they manufactured with stolen African resources. So that would be one thing. In terms of explaining yourselves, like you saw the brother in the video with the peckerwood, or the other Becky, that little Neanderthal that he was at a job, and ask yourself this question: is it worth my time? That precious thing, like I said, the only thing that's guaranteed on this planet is death, and that means you have a very finite amount of time to get stuff done. Ask yourself: is it really worth even focusing on something like that? Focusing on the racist and focusing. I mean, why spend that precious second? Because I'm gonna tell you something. When you're in the hospital and you got something with your heart and you might not make it, every second that and every breath you take is the most precious thing you've ever. You'll be thinking, why didn't I do this? And I wish I had time to. I should have done and coulda, woulda. So why spend those things that are very finite that that's going to run out on something that's not even worth snot? And I'm talking about these peckerwoods and their ilk. They're not worth snot for us to be up in arms or even concentrating on. Much less if you're to quote, argue or trying to debate. I don't debate with my enemy. It either gets out of my way or I find a way to go ahead and marginalize it. But I got to get done what I need to because my time is finite. I just don't have that much time to worry about, or even let something that's not worth a roach indulge my time. When it comes to this issue with the OJ, my thing is, I long for the day, and ask yourself, maybe most of us don't long for that day, but I long for the day that we're not looking for validation. Finally, we got one over on them. Finally, we're, Black Lives Matter. Finally, we've got a George Floyd bill. Finally, we're living in a world, not a country, not a nation, not a continent. We're living in a world who has basically been destroyed from an animal. I won't call them people. I'll call them an animal that's destroyed everything from the smallest, which is the atom, and everything largest, outer space. And they've marginalized, molested, destroyed, exploited everything in between the atom to outer space, everything in between. Nothing is safe around them. So the thing is you know that you're living in a globe that is unfortunately being controlled, and very badly controlled. Don't ask me. It's so hot nowadays. And they say, well, climate change. They went from global warming to climate change. This is the result of some animals that are running amok, destroying everything in their path. Clearly, with their so-called technology and their so-called invention. So ask yourself, do you want to go ahead and continue to get validation from something that is so satanic that it can't even, it can't even monitor itself? Are you going to spend that precious time trying to get acknowledged by them, or are you going to try to get them out of the way, hopefully off the planet, but at least out of your way? Are you going to go ahead and work on your own destiny? Just ask yourself these questions. Is it worth making sure that you are able to work as a collective, to protect yourselves as a collective, to go ahead and make sure as a collective that your destiny is in your hands and not in the hands of someone a Neanderthal that just can't even control itself? Just ask yourself these questions. I'm not saying what black folk gotta do and we gotta. I'm just saying indulge yours truly and ask questions. Ask questions if you're in Nigeria and you have to say we finally are banning models and we're banning these folks and banning that. Ask your and many of you guys brought it up. Why are they there in the first place? Why do we let them now? Are they that much of a frame of reference that we have to have something in? Why don't we just ban them not only from our continent, not only from our culture, but why don't we just ban them from our minds? Ban them from our minds so we're not talking about being uncoded and ban them from our existence, ban them from our objectives. That's why yours truly doesn't say it's my channel. I don't own anything. This is theirs. I have no channel. All I do is I hitch a ride on someone else's technology to impart a word to hopefully help African people, black folks, control their destiny. I don't own any of this so-called social media. I'm just going ahead and getting my megaphone out there and saying, hey guys, this might be an idea that you might make it through this world and control this planet and get it out of the hands of these insane children or these insane species that, whether they're Asia, white, Arab, or whatever. The thing is, I say, ask yourselves these questions. Ask yourself the questions that, it's a thing of like, and I'm thinking of your last video, but it's the same thing. I could rehash it forever. Ask yourself, it's not like we gotta and we gotta get the plan and how come black folks, no. Just ask yourself these questions, hopefully within your group, your collective, but mostly ask yourself. Ask yourself, are you and everything you do going to be in control of your destiny? Do you care about, spending time, trying to school somebody on how to go ahead and raise a half giraffe, half elephant while you're being hunted on the streets or being hunted on the plains? Clearly you have more priorities out there, like trying to survive in an economic system built by maniacs that clearly is against you, or a medical system that's clearly against you, or a military system is against you. Clearly you have more time, this precious finite time, to not worried about how are you going to raise that half elephant, half giraffe. Clearly there's a lot of things that are more important to us. Hopefully, ask yourself. Because only you can answer that question. I can't answer it for you. The thing I say is indulge yours truly by asking what is really important. And then more importantly, if you can answer that, ask yourself, are you willing to work toward that it's important? And hopefully that is important will help all of us as black folk control our destiny. So conversations like this would be entertainment and not something as an instruction manual or something that we have to delve on. I'll pass the mic. Thanks a lot, Brother Forecast.
Absolutely. It's not meant to. Well, it shouldn't be used as instruction manual. It should be entertainment. But unfortunately, everything has to be used as a tool or weapon, as you would say. And again, I appreciate you for coming through, and I'm glad that y'all don't get offended by it, because I don't really like blacking people's comments. I think the best way, if they want to say something, come on, and then dispel it. But just stick to the topic. But before Bakari go, like you were saying, I know you talk about it, but and that's why, because it's a well covered topic. What I'm saying, we always gonna talk about the black people that do a lot of stuff, and it's important. And I wouldn't go on nobody to tell nobody, but the minute I talk about something else, then we hear a lot of black people like, oh Lord, what I'm saying, we just gonna get in trouble over here. And as MG2 would say, we're not saying yes sir good enough, what I'm saying. And Bakari would come over here and be talking about, telling black women to shut up and dribble, what I'm saying, or shut up and run, So, I try to stick to the other side, And I don't know Bakari there. You there, Bakari?
Yeah, don't be telling nobody. I told Chicago East to shut up and run. Don't be lying on me.
No, he told black women. He told black women to shut up and run in general.
No, that was Morris Watkins who said that, not me. That was Morris Watkins. That was not me. But look, man, I appreciate you letting me speak on your panel. One thing I noticed about this panel tonight, man, Oni is up here. He ain't gonna ever put the link in his chat. I told you I was gonna say something, Oni. Oni don't want us to talk on his channel. You wrong for that, Oni. But anyway, look, it was for me, few topics. We went past the N word, and I feel how I feel about that. I ain't gonna change nobody. I just tell them how I feel, and don't call me that. But I've gotten to a point, and I'm just being honest. Some things I just let some people, they gonna be on their own, or maybe not on their own. It just don't have anything to do with me. That's one of our biggest problems. We haven't learned to let go. And like I said, for me, with everything that I've been through and everything that I have seen people doing this work, they knew that there were certain people working against them, but they refused to let go, hoping they could change them because they were black. So since I've seen it, I learned from what I've seen. And some things, for me, I just have to let go. And it has nothing, and some of those people have nothing. Some of these people mentioned today have nothing to do with me, regardless if they look like me or not, i.e. OJ. Regardless if they look like me or not, I have learned to let go. They're gonna be on their own. I keep telling you, I'm the 21st century Idi Amin Dada. You have to, you have to let go. We have a lot of work that need to be done, but we have to have people that's interested in doing the work. We can see them training, holding up their red, white, and blue, but then there's not enough men. And I'm talking about men. There's not enough black men that want to train and wear the red, black, and green. Like Oni said earlier, we're the only people who is hoping we can get some type of protection from the people that came to our continent, put you on the bottom of the ship, took you to all these different countries around the world, took your name, your language, your culture, raped your women, raped your men, raped your little boys, raped your little girls, did everything to you. And now in 2022, we are waiting for those people to protect us. We are fighting for white acceptance. And the biggest acceptance, now black people would be okay as long as they could somehow get that reparations check. But it don't seem like it's coming.
So instead of moving forward and working together, we would rather continue to constantly fight one another because my honest opinion, because of fear of other people. See, when I hear people say they hate white people, right? I hate white people. They have to announce it loud, but they're not around white people and they take all their hate out on black people. They don't give the people they claim they hate the same smoke, or as they would call them, white supremacists. They don't give them the same smoke. That's why you don't hear anybody talking about the white immigrants. When MG2 said Hardcore was trolling him in the chat, he's one of them. You'll never hear them say anything about white immigrants, but they're going to have everything to say about someone from Africa, someone from Jamaica, or any other islands, or any country in Africa, or anywhere else. But they're not going to ever say anything about the people who they claim oppressed them. So then we are so proud of this country, and this country is so great. But the water in Jackson, Mississippi is tore up, but they gave $11 billion to Ukraine. The water in Flint, Michigan is tore up, but they give $11 billion to Ukraine. Alabama, the water is tore up, but they give $11 billion to Ukraine. They found arsenic in water in projects in New York, but they gave $11 billion to Ukraine. Shit floating on the highways and on the streets in Long Island, but they give $11 billion to Ukraine. But these are the people that we want to be next to. These are the people that most of our people look to as a standard. Well, white people don't do this, white people don't do that, and we have become white people children. So we'll get to the point where we say, well, them white people won't let you do that. We're like little kids. We can get away with most stuff with our mom and daddy, but white folks won't let you do it. Like I say, if we change our mind, we change our situation. If we change our mind, we change our situation, because if we change our mind, our approach to life in this world, our approach to living in this world, living in this country, our approach would change. Everything about it would change. We would start seeing us working together more, not being concerned about, I never asked this question in real life, but never concerned about if you're FBA or you're ADOS, or if you're Pan-African, or if you're an internet engine. None of those questions will come up in real life once we change because once we change our mind, we're going to change our approach to life. Either we want to do something, and if we truly want to do it, we will do it. And that's my take on it. And like I said, man, when MG2 said something, we'll get rid of that get on code, I absolutely agree. Because I believe the code have to be in you. You have to live by a code. That's why those terms get on code will never come out of my mouth for me, because I live by a code, and we have to live by a code. In that code, we have the 4 pillars: respect, love, provide, and protect. And on that note, man, I'm going to close out. I thank you for letting me speak. Look, y'all, check me out Sunday. I'm going on after Oni. Whenever Oni is done on Sunday, that's when I'm coming on with my next episode of Mind Our Black Business. I'm probably going to do a show tomorrow, Friday, just to come on here and talk. But anyway, man, peace, one love. Thank you for letting me speak, and peace to everybody on the panel in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. Shouts out to brother Bakari. Y'all subscribe to his channel. Oh yeah, Harsh Reality Podcast. Speaking of Sunday, is Sunday night at 8:00. So y'all subscribe to his thing. Tanzan.
Yes, just excellent discussion today. I think everything that I wanted to say has been said. Basically, we can't be more concerned about other people than we are about ourselves. So the first thing to, taking care of things is to look at our own children, where are we going as a people, what are the relationships between our, men and women, and what are we doing as a community? sometimes we're too focused on what other people are doing. We can't help them. You look, they know already what they're doing. What can you do for the child? They're going to go home with the mother anyway. So, what are you going to do? Become the social worker? Let's not, because sometimes it's just distractions looking for these entertainment things instead of focusing on our own problems or our own issues and solutions. So, yes, thank you very much, Ndugu Focused and Amani and Ndugu Oni and MG2. Please, Amani.
Yes. And Tanzan, when do you go live? When is your shows? Let them know. Tanzan.
Oh yes, sorry. It's on Tuesdays Eastern at 3:30 for now. I'll see about the time, but definitely Tuesdays around at 3:30. Yes.
3:30 West Coast time, 6:30 East Coast time.
Yes. East Coast.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, and thank you, Tanzan. Tanzan definitely has great shows and talking about cults and the relationship with men and women and the family structure and very important conversations. So y'all subscribe to her channel. And I appreciate all y'all for coming on here, making this a great conversation. And even though this was an open conversation, I called this privatized freedom. You know what I'm saying? And I've said, instead of saying freedom, I'm gonna start saying self-autonomy. But it's privatized, you know what I'm saying? You privatize your business, you know what I'm saying? Like in all aspects, in every way that you can imagine. And MG2 is ironic after the conversation we had, and then I see this, the GOP governor says he's open to privatizing Mississippi water. So, of course, this could mean something devastating, as this has meant for the last 600 years. And the people who say stuff is fake, like it would mean more if the last 600 years hadn't happened and we aren't in the situation. So, like, when you say something is not real, like, I don't even get it. But on the other hand, imagine if it was 38,000 people with the intention of controlling the water in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? That could be a start. Just 38,000 people. Forget the rest of it. We're gonna take the low end. I think 38,000 people with their issues together and their mindsets together can control the water in this area, can fix the area, can put a whole system in the area. But we aren't at the point right now where particular things that mean something are getting 38,000 followers, because we are deciding things from a position of trauma. You know what I'm saying? When you are coming and all you know is trauma, sometimes you follow the wrong leaders, you pick the wrong things because that's all you know, and it's a natural course. And some would say, quote unquote, cursed, but it's only one way to break the curse, and that's putting forth the action. And it's easier said than done, but it's done, not said. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, is that easy. And if we want to actually do the things that we want to do, that's what we have to get to. And in the words of my brother MG2, you know what I'm saying, I may listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or even, no disrespect to anyone, or even Marcus Garvey next week, but I'm going to eat tonight. And it may even be pork, as my brother said. So just remember, man, when you get hungry, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of this stuff go out the window. But if you plan for it, then you'll be in a better position to be able to control your own destiny. So, what else we got to lose, man? They took everything else, man. We argue about where we come from, our ancestors. I can't tell you my great-great-grandfather's name. I don't know what he looked like. I'm pissed off about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's enough for me to say or do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all we got. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're going to keep falling for anything.